to get tricked? Hang on. Ha. Stupid volume button hiding.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Straight Outta Austin. As always, it is I, Prometheus, here with
Agamemnon!
And we have a very, very special guest from our childhood that's been with us through all these years. If you want to introduce yourself.
Wow, I didn't even think of a nickname, but
Sir Hooper?
Sir
Sir Hooper.
Skywalker,
Sky-
Mr. Glasshat, the Dean of Mean. He has many nicknames. The Ladies' Man.
yeah, I'm gonna just go with that Skywalker option.
Skywalker, because sky's the limit.
Yeah, sky's the limit.
Yeah, we've known this guy. Well, for me, I've known him since 8th grade. So it's been a long time.
Yeah, and I've known him since junior year of high school, so
we pretty much
it goes
went
back to 01.
Yeah, we pretty much went from being like Vegeta, Goku, mortal enemies to like best friends.
Like best friends for life, huh?
Oh man, I don't know. Yeah, we've mentioned him in several podcasts, so now you have the opportunity to actually get to know Mr. Skywalker just a little bit. So I don't know if you really want to tell the listeners out there just a little bit about yourself, who they can be listening to for the next hour or so.
All right. Well, like you guys mentioned before, I've known these guys since high school and middle school, and just a great group of guys. Going back, playing with the old school PlayStation, playing was it Street Fighter Alpha back in the day, and then Jay. I think when I really got really understood Jay was when we went to play Dragon Ball Z, and he liked Piccolo, and I liked Piccolo too. And it's like, oh man, Piccolo, man. We kind of connected and kind of bonded with that, and just ever since then, we've kind of been really close. And these guys are my family, so it's good.
Yeah. I just want to comment on that because, when they first met, they were both very standoffish. Yeah. And then we got into a discussion about Dragon Ball Z. And
freaking Mr. Gaddy Land.
Yeah, fucking Gaddy Town.
Gaddy Town. Now, for those that don't know, Gaddy Town is I think it's Austin specific. It's got other places in Texas, but it's a really big pizza chain in Texas. Austin. Yeah. It's a really big pizza chain here in Texas, but the crust tastes like crackers.
Yeah, best cardboard pizza you've ever had.
Yeah. Hey, it's like Little Caesars, man.
Oh, yeah, $5 for a
But back then, that was the spot. For $6, you pretty much get fed the whole rest of the day. So we went there, and they had a big screen. They had 3 big screen TVs in the kids' playroom because it was like a kids' arcade as well. The kids throw their parties there, and we'd go like at 4:30, and they had Dragon Ball Z on the big center console monitor. And we were watching. It was Android 17 fighting Piccolo. We're like drilling holes in each other's stomachs. Yeah. We're like, man, this is one of the best fights ever. And then someone started like, yeah, but it's not as good as Vegeta versus Cell.
I think it was probably me and Mike because we would always talk shit about Piccolo, and that was like always one man out that liked Piccolo. So we're like, yeah, he's not a Saiyan, he's not good. Yeah. And you guys were both like Piccolo, and it's almost like we looked at each other.
I was like, man, Piccolo's the best fucking character there is, bar none. And then I just remember Nat just going like, yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about. That was like the first positive thing he ever said to me, and we had been hanging out for like 2 or 3 weeks already.
Before his attitude was like, yeah, hey, what's up? And it's like you like Piccolo. Oh yeah, that's right.
Because I just remember we went to your house, Prometheus, to go hang out, and there was it was you, me, and Mike, and then Sir Hooper and Bitchberry showed up.
Oh yeah,
Bitchberry show up, and I think in Sir Hooper's truck, and he just pulls up like all like Matthew McConaughey d-bag, like, hey, what's going on? And I know he saw me. He just had this like his eyes down, just that the weird little like lip thing that you do, like like, oh, that guy's here. And we're like, yeah, I guess we'll meet you there. It's like, but y'all gonna drive. And then I remember you and Mike were all pissed off. He said he was gonna drive all of us. But the whole reason you didn't want to drive is because you didn't want to give me a ride. So like, yeah, me and Bitchberry will just meet you there.
After all that, it seems what brought us together was good old anime Piccolo.
I know, right?
That was like a little calling. Piccolo School of Hard Knocks.
Oh man, yeah, that's right. That was like your favorite website. Yeah, there's some way back in the GeoCities days. There's a website called Piccolo School of Hard Knocks. It was very much like an ode to Piccolo.
Yeah.
Where all the Piccolo fans converged to share their love of the Namek named Piccolo. Yeah, those were good days. I think it's funny because like we used to love Dragon Ball Z. I don't know if there's any way I could ever rewatch that series because it's so slow. There's so much filler. It's like if they just took out all the bullshit, it could still be cool. Yeah. But it's like back then, it's just like we had the patience of saints to be able to sit through a show where it's like a whole episode of powering up. You know?
Oh yeah, like 20 episodes to like finish a fight,
30 episodes to wait for Goku,
yeah.
For Goku to get injured, to wait another 30 episodes for him to finally come back and fight. It was ridiculous. It's like they really truly milked it for everything they possibly could.
Yeah.
But for
can you blame them for that though? They made a lot of them. They're still making money off of that.
I don't blame them for milking the show, but I blame them for just not even trying. Like literally, just a whole episode of them like flying in a spaceship. Like, man, we gotta wait for Goku. We didn't get here soon, and they cut to the Kame house. Hey, what are these characters that used to be important? What are they up to? You know, it's like you can make an entire season of just all the filler. But
they're still like going back, and now like it's called Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
Oh.
Actually, have you ever seen those episodes where they're making fun of?
Yeah, those dudes are hilarious.
Yeah, they are hilarious.
Yeah. But Vegeta tricks it for kids.
You know what's funny is that because it's like nice and concise, and it does more justice to the show than the actual show ever could. And it's what's funny. The fact that it's like a redux or like a redubbing, is because they can play on everyone's like nostalgia of like what they remember of the show. So they bring back certain dialogues or they make fun of other ones like the power level one where it gets interrupted right at the
power level 1,000.
Yeah, it's 9,000. It's like what? 9,000? Yeah, it's 9,000. Just like really chill about it. It was like, oh.
He just takes the scatter off, like, all right, well, I guess that's not
true. He goes 9,000, and he crushes. Is like, ah.
My favorite one, well, I already spoiled it, but like when he's like, "Watch out, Vegeta! It's a trick." It's like, but Vegeta, or watch out now, it's a trick, but Vegeta, tricks are for kids. Oh man, but yeah, they're actually bringing back Dragon Ball because they haven't milked that cow enough. They're like, you know what? We're gonna make a movie with like at least 20 years later, if not like even longer, that Dragon Ball Z has been done in Japan, let alone done in America. I mean, I know they have Dragon Ball Kai for all the new fans.
Dragon Ball Z Kai.
Dragon Ball Z, yeah.
They're like, you know what? We're gonna have a whole new anime, Dragon Ball Battle of the Gods.
Yeah.
And you see Goku get his first loss, his first L. And they're like, you know what? He lost. We got to do a whole other series.
But he's all like excited about it. He's like, I can't believe I lost.
Yeah, right.
I just got to train harder.
3,000 times the Earth's gravity.
Super Saiyan 5 coming.
So I wonder what they're going to do because they've already kind of spoiled what the next level of Super Saiyan is because it's supposed to be in between Z and GT. And, because he's Super Saiyan level 4 in GT, he's 3, he ends at 3. Maybe he's going to have like a 3.5.
He was like, yeah.
Because they kind of did have like a 1.5 with Gohan when he went Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll do some garbage like that. It's just like, this is, or you know what, knowing their continuity, they'll just make like a 6. Like somehow I skipped one.
It was like, they go back in the series. This is how we skipped the recent 5. It'll explain how we got there. Milk it as all we can.
Yeah. But that said, I still want to check it out.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, like, something is going to be BS, and you're just like, yeah, but I have to see what it looks like.
Hey, there might be some new characters.
Yeah. Oh, my God. More Saiyans.
Yeah.
They should bring back more Saiyans. Yeah, you thought all the Saiyans were dead, but 5 more also survived, on top of the 5 that survived.
A morph Nappa.
I want to see Nappa with hair.
I
want to see Nappa with hair.
Yeah.
Like the long Dragon Ball, Super Saiyan level 3 hair. Just his long golden mane.
Yeah.
But speaking of shows where you're thinking, or not even necessarily shows, but movies in this case, where you're thinking, yeah, I don't know how to feel about this, but Skywalker and I had went to see the 300, was it Rise of an Empire today?
Yeah.
And it definitely had its strong points, but to me it was like literally you wait the whole movie to see the Spartans finally show up. It's all based off of, what's his name, Themistocles or something?
Yeah.
Blue Capocles. And you're like, all right, Spartans, they're going to be there. We're going to see some badass Spartans. They're there for, like, literally the last 5 minutes.
Well, it's funny. They start in the beginning where they're on the boat talking about the story about how, Leonidas, how he died. And then basically then it's like, okay, we're going to figure out the revenge battle. That's what we're here to see. And then all of a sudden they then come in at the end. So the whole minute, Prometheus was saying, 5 minutes of 300 soldiers.
Yeah, everything else is just like a long flashback.
Yeah.
It was almost like they were thinking on the boat, like, I wonder what happened before we got here. I bet they got their asses kicked. Let's tell a story about how they got their asses kicked.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much all it is. But I don't know. I know Skywalker will agree with me. The best scene, well, for me, the best scene, where they jump the shark. In this case, they jump the ship, and the main character, he's like, have you made the preparations on the ship? He's like, yes, sir, I've made the preparations. So this is like the final battle. He's about to take out the main Persian later, and he's on a horse, jumping from boat to boat, dodging arrows.
Like Ninja Scroll?
Yeah, he's like a big old mane horse, dodging people, jumping through fire.
What the shit?
That shit was so
indestructible. And then magically the horse disappears. And
What?
Yeah, the horse doesn't die.
Like it just gets CGI'd out, or just like ignore it.
It is instant transmission.
Puts his hoof to its forehead.
Yeah. It was so funny. It was one of those scenes where you could either be like, all right, I'm done with this movie. But for me, it was just like, everything else was so ridiculous. It's like, all right, you know what? The next movie, I want to see like an elephant doing it. Just have them just bouncing around, and they just went over the top of the horses, because in the beginning there's a part with a slow mo, and it zooms up on the horse as it like rears back, and it like you look right into its eye, and like it's just thinking like, yeah, I got this. And it's like crushes this dude's face.
Yeah, it's like you look at a rabies horse. It's like looking at it, it's like, man, this horse is
like,
crazy.
This horse needs serious medical attention.
It's like, oh, okay, that's what's
needs
going
meds.
on. He's about to die.
It was like the horse was like Leonidas' horse getting revenge. Like, you killed my rider. Ah! But
You killed the only one worthy to call me master.
But one of my favorite characters was the main villain. It's pretty much like Xerxes' adopted daughter, and she's a Greek that pretty much was literally screwed over by the Greeks again and again and again. So she's hell-bent on revenge. She trains with Oenomaus from Spartacus to become pretty much like the best swordswoman.
Yeah.
And so she's on this trip of vendetta, and she just wants to kill everyone, and like no one's her equal. She keeps sending her generals to die when they fail her. Pretty much walk the flank. There's one guy, she's like trying to get his like status update. It's like, what's your report? It's like, man, we don't have enough ships. We've lost 27. And then as he's like explaining like what's happening, they're nailing these like iron gauntlets to his wrist, and then they just fucking throw him overboard, like literally like mid speech. And man, let me let you know.
I wasn't done yet.
It was just like the cliche villain's like, anyone else want to disappoint me? And then she sends her next general. So the whole time she's literally just like waiting for her man to be like worthy of standing by her side. So she ends up somewhat falling for the Greek guy, and so she invites him over to hear her terms,
negotiation proposition.
What, let me get. Is it sex?
Oh yeah, it's
Pretty much.
It's like the funniest sex scene.
Yeah, I was like, it was pretty awkward actually.
Because it starts off where she's like being really seductive and getting like really like uncomfortably close to his face, like, you want to join my cause? you can stand by my side. There's no reason for you to die. And then they just start banging. Yeah. But it's like every time like the guy's like banging her aggressively, you know, like he'll like be banging her doggy style, and then she'll like flip him over and just like riding him all hard,
like slapping him like that.
Like it was like a power struggle. It's like, no, I'm in control of this. Like, no, you're in control. And then she's like, join me, and he's like, no. And then she just fucking throws him off.
He throws him off and he picks up his stuff. It's like, I guess we're done.
It was like, it was over right there. It was like, done.
We're done.
Like there wasn't like a gradual, like slowly the grinding, or like let me finish. Just like done. And
she's
so
like, get this filth away from here.
He's all trying to gather his clothes. He's trying to get thrown off. And like I love the look on his face when he goes back to his bed. He's like, did you find out a weakness in her? And he just has like this guilty look on his face, smelling of sex. He's like, she's gonna fuck us up the next time we battle. And the thing that I thought was really ironic,
like, guys, I know I said I got this, but I kind of screwed it up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, let my dick get the best of me.
It's like, what happened? It's like, well, she asked us to join. And it's like, I said no. Oh, come on! They're gonna totally crush us.
Yeah. That reminds me of the scene with the guards. They're all banging, and those guards with those masks. They look at each other like, oh.
Oh wow, you totally butchered that name, Themistocles.
Yeah, that's what I said.
That's not what it sounded like. Yeah, Ava Green. There was a Doom, or otherwise known as Jelani Liggins, on Facebook. When the reboot, the James Bond reboot came out, she was in the first one, or
okay.
Casino Royale.
Was she the one that got dipped in the oil? Never mind, that wasn't.
She's the one that drowned, and she also betrayed him, but he was still like in love with her.
Yeah.
But he would call her Vesper Royale. I forget what the reference was, but it had to deal with something else. But I believe that's what he called her.
That's what it was. Was it Queen Gorga?
Yeah, Lena Headey, a.k.a. Cersei Lannister.
Oh, I was talking about Ava Green.
Yeah.
She's the bad bitch.
Huh?
She's the bad bitch.
Yeah, she's the angry sex one.
Yeah, she was in a Showtime series called Camelot, which was supposed to be like really good, not like Game of Thrones level, but it was still like a really great series.
Yeah,
and they canceled it after the first season.
Oh wow!
Like they didn't even decide to continue it. And I was like, man, I thought it got really good ratings, but it was a really good. You know, it had to do with like the whole King Arthur mythos.
Okay.
So. But anyways,
you got the Firefly treatment.
Yeah. But from Showtime.
Yeah, we were discussing. Yeah, so like while they're banging, because he's in there to negotiate. So like, you remember the Immortals from 300? Like pretty much the Persian army's like best soldiers, and they just like look at each other like as stoic as they normally are. They're even like. They're like, this is what lucky.
I wonder what's going on. It seems like there's some funny business going down there.
I'd be getting aroused if we weren't castrated.
It's like one slaps the other shoulder. You believe this shit?
Yeah, it would have been even better. They should have just made it more over the top, where they're like trying to peek in.
You know what? Those masks would have cracked a smile.
Yeah, just all really bad CGI. Just
like, yeah.
That would have been hilarious.
That's why she's the commander.
Oh man, but yeah, 300. If you want to see, I don't know, like it was good for what it was. It definitely is not nearly as good as the first one, but you can't top Leonidas. Leonidas made that movie. But another scene. So they go to the origin of Xerxes, and he was originally just a regular dude. His dad was in charge of the Persian Empire until whatever the Greek names was, and so he shot his dad.
Themistocles.
Mr. Cleese.
Mr. Cleese.
Why do you like
this?
What is wrong with you?
We're going to call him Mr. Cleese. So Mr. Cleese shot his dad in the chest with an arrow. Like, it was just hilarious. It's like he could have...
Like on purpose?
Yeah. Like, they were battling. Like, very much the Greeks sneak attack.
Well, like just a practical Saturday afternoon?
Pretty much.
Battling with your pops?
It was pretty much... Well, no. Okay, basically, it was like the Mr. Cleese... And they snuck attack the Persians. They're like, all right, they're trying to come to our waters. We got something for them. So right as they're landing, they snuck attack them. They're pretty much kicking everyone's ass. And he sees the leader just chilling on the boat like, yep, I'm not getting involved with that shit. He's like, oh, hell yeah, you are. So he fucking shoots him with an arrow. And, Xerxes sees him and he's running. The cliche slow motion like no, I guess they're just in time for him to get shot in the chest. And so he just like... So that pretty much like lights a spark with him, and he's like all bummed and all emo, like, man, my dad's dead. And,
it's all boo boo boo.
Yeah.
Like, that scene took like 5 minutes. Like the arrow's like moving like a millisecond. It's like, how long are you gonna zoom in that arrow? Like you're just gonna it's like going across slow motion.
Yeah.
Looking at it, he sees it. And then he's like, "Oh, I guess I can't move, so I'm going to get hit by the arrow.
I'm too slow. I can't move out of the way." So it hits him. The best part is, so he's shot, and like he survives long enough that for them to like lay him on his deathbed, for him to give his whole death speech. And, like, not there on the ship where he got shot, like a whole wherever the ship transported him to, like back to HQ. It went back to Persian Empire headquarters. He's just laying there with his arrow sticking out of his chest, like they didn't even break it off. And he's just like, "Son, you're in charge of the Empire now." And then the daughter comes up and she's like, "I'm done with this shit," and just rips it out of his heart. And he's just like, "Yeah." And then so the dude's like all bummed, and she's just like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "Oh yeah." So he's like, "I learned my lesson. I'm not fucking with the Greeks. Dude shot me from like 100 yards with an arrow in the heart, son. It would take a god to kill these Greeks. Leave them alone.
Yeah.
Let them live. We're just gonna have. We have this empire. They got that empire. We're good."
Yeah.
And so
there's literally a whole sea separating us.
yeah, exactly. So the daughter is like, "Nah." He's like, "What he meant to say was, you gotta be a god if you want to kill the Greeks." And he's just like, "All right,
Listen, I think that's a good idea. Let me go ahead and become a god. Just a little dip into
yeah, so he walks out into the desert naked, and he's just like, "Well, hopefully I'll find something to make me a god." And there's like these random like shaman.
What Chris Rachel calls the thing.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, pretty much. And then there's like a pool, and he does a dip. And he pretty much hops in this fucking golden hot tub, and literally he walks in, just regular human being with a beard, comes out, Xerxes,
hot tub god machine.
Yeah, basically, because like you're thinking like he was always like, he was always like 8 feet tall.
Yeah,
He jumped into a golden tub, came out with like nothing but a Speedo and gold, and like 2 feet taller. He's like, "I am now a god." It was like, you guys were fucking lazy when you wrote this origin story.
Yeah. All right.
It's like they didn't even try. Like he didn't even get bit by a radioactive god or nothing. Like just to dip in the pool.
Apparently, that's how you become a god. You just dip into a pool.
Yeah. So listeners out there, if you have a hot tub and someone ever tells you need to become a god to accomplish your goals, hot tub. Hot tub and a lot of dime store jewelry.
Yeah, and you gotta walk bad. You know how he walks?
Oh, yeah,
he walks like that pimp walk up there.
It's like Speedos, platinum,
Speedo
and the sandals rose gold.
Yeah, the best pimp walk moment was there's a scene towards the end, and she's telling him like Xerxes, I'm gonna attack the army, and he's like, "I am the God King. You listen to me," and he just pimp walks down the stairs.
Wow.
And then she's like, "Yeah, I'm still gonna do it."
Oh wow, yeah, that was actually a pretty good scene, and she said, "Sit on your childish throne."
Oh, yeah.
Childless?
What does he say exactly?
I don't know. It's pretty much distance. She's like, "Don't forget who put that crown on your head," and then she just storms off.
Oh, she said, "Sit like a child on your throne."
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
she said. Yeah.
He was like, "Fine, I will."
He's like, "I will," and he starts eating some coconut ice cream.
Yeah, right.
This is really good.
Now give me baby food.
Give me some baby oil.
Yeah,
Where's my baby oil? Oh, I forget. I'm a god. It's always in there.
yeah, right. I'm always smooth. I wonder if he ever takes those piercings out. Like, does he ever clean them? Does he shower with them? Does he shower at all?
Yeah, no, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Just to upkeep all that.
Does he ever get new ones? Because I guess from that moment on, he's had the same piercings. Like, he never expanded.
Yeah.
I bet when he went in there, the source of power probably came out with a Prince Albert. He's like, "Now I have the power."
Ew. Ew.
Oh, man. Anyway, so we got our first topic on here. So for those of you that were a fan of the Boondocks from Adult Swim, you know that they're definitely a very polarizing show. People that love it absolutely love it, and some people are very turned off by its brand of humor. Well, if you thought that was controversial, Adult Swim has just greenlit Black Jesus the series.
What?
Whoa!
Yeah, basically it's the show is it's Jesus living in the modern present day Compton on a daily mission to spread love and kindness throughout the neighborhood with hope, but with a small but loyal group of downtrodden followers.
Wow. Is this the same creators that created Boondock? Oh, sorry.
Yep. Yeah, it's the same guy, Aaron Magruder.
Okay.
So I think it'll be very interesting. It's going to have who's it now? Okay, Gerard Slink Johnson. If you played Grand Theft Auto 5, he was the one that was Lamar Davis, who pretty much was the cockiest guy in that entire game.
Oh.
But he was going to play Black Jesus. Charlie
this
Murphy's
is Franklin's best friend, right?
Yeah. The one that kept getting him and all of that shit.
Yeah.
But Charlie Murphy, he's coming back.
Nice.
Nice.
Corey Holcomb, I don't know who that is, and John Witherspoon. So they're all coming back. But I think it's going to be fun. Just to see how pissed off people are going to get after the first episode comes out. Because they're going to be like, what? A black Jesus? We can't have that. And you know that, oh man, I can just imagine. Like, people are going to go nuts. Which, that alone is enough to make me say, I want to see this. I at least want to see the first episode. Because to me, the Boondocks was really funny, but I felt like the message kind of got lost with a lot of the episodes. Compared to, if you ever read the comic strip, it was a lot more grounded. And I felt like...
Well, you didn't like Gangsterlicious?
Well, don't get me wrong. Like I said, the episodes were hilarious, but it's like I think people that don't know, they were trying to make a point, and they were trying to do like satire. Yeah. I think people kind of it gets lost in the over the top humor. But no, Gangsterlicious was hilarious. Gangsterlicious, man.
Gangsterlicious, man.
I love when he gets shot. It's like he's performing his song, I Got Shot. He's like, I got shot. I got shot for real. No, seriously, I'm bleeding, man. I need medical attention. But yeah, oh man. I think Boondocks also got greenlit for a 4th season, I want to say.
Yeah.
I still have not even seen season 2, so I'm way behind on my Boondocks.
Yeah, I'm behind. I stopped after the first season.
Yeah, there was a long gap between the two, and I just kind of fell off on the whole series.
Yeah.
But for our other member who's not here today, Fuzzy Slippers, I'm sure he'll be very delighted to know that Black Jesus, the series, is coming to Adult Swim. So if you're out there, Mr. Slippers, listening... We want you to know we're thinking of you when Jesus is giving spread love and kindness to his homies in Compton. So
that's maybe we should have Snoop Dogg in there. Somehow put it.
I'm sure Snoop
Dogg's going to make an appearance in there.
I bet you Snoop Dogg's going to be like God or something.
Yeah,
it's like Jesus Izzle, man. You got to come to them pearly gate Izzles.
I'm G Sizzle.
Yeah. He's just going to have like a white pimp suit.
Yeah.
Oh, the angels are his hoes or something. I don't know. Like whatever it is, I'm sure it's gonna be this like swimming with controversy because that's the way they do it.
Well, that's what Adult Swim, right? Yeah. Swimming with controversy.
Pretty much, just controversy and just general silliness. So,
well, speaking of Adult Swim, I don't know if you saw that other article I had put up, or did I? Hang on. Okay. Well, anyways, the guy who's been in charge of their, I guess, Cartoon Network programming for the last, I don't know, decade maybe?
Yeah.
Got fired.
Oh, really?
And he was known as the guy that was trying to make everything on Cartoon Network live action. I don't know if he got fired, but he stepped down from his position. So
good.
He's not working there anymore. So hopefully that means less of the live action shows. But that his goal was actually just to make everything on Cartoon Network as much as live action as possible.
Did he not read the mission statement?
Yeah. Cartoon Network.
Yeah. So he was responsible for Tim and Eric.
And
awesome
Tom Goes
show.
to Mayor.
And Tom Goes to Mayor. Even though technically that was animated.
Yeah.
But it wasn't good.
I still hated it. But yeah, good riddance.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm glad.
So
yeah.
Even though I haven't watched Adult Swim, and mainly for that reason, in almost a decade, I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that he's not there anymore.
I will say, despite the fact that I'm opposed to live action on Cartoon Network, Children's Hospital is funny.
Children's Hospital is pretty funny, and so is it was a show that ran on there for a couple of seasons. It was called Delocated.
Delocated, that's awesome.
That show was really
good,
I remember watching one episode in particular. The first time I saw it, I thought it was dumb. I just changed it without even watching it. And then one day it was just sitting there on the TV, and I was like watching it, and like the guy's voice is funny. I like the deep. Hidden, what do you call it? Distorted voice. The just distorted voices sound funny to me.
Yeah.
Unless they're like in ransoms. But I was like sitting there just kind of smiling. It's like, okay, this is kind of funny, but I'm not giving it a chance. But as it goes on, like his wife is just like all pissed off about their whole situation, and he tries to run off, and like the next scene he's like running around like trying to hide in his underwear. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I was hooked the rest of the episode.
You're like, dude in underwear. It's like, I can relate to this. It's my show. But I just want to say shout-outs to Melanie, who's just joined us in the chat. So hopefully you're enjoying the great conversation. I don't know if you got here while we were talking about 300.
See you too, Luis.
Yeah. I see you there, Luis. Luis is always, like, there. Like, he's, like, prompt. Like, they're like, whenever you go to a job interview, you got to be there, like, 15 minutes early. Luis is there chilling, like, going over his resume and references.
Trying to get ready for it. Yeah. Other people's like, I'm 5 minutes, 10 minutes late.
Also, the latest edition of the Comic Bubble is out, so go ahead and check that out today. But yeah, Luis is probably like grading like homework or something. How did my students do today?
Sitting there with a red pen. Hold on a second. But yeah, for those that don't know, we've added a whole new podcast to the Punch in the Walls reality family. Luis's own Comic Bubble, the podcast. And I was a guest on the first episode. So obviously, if there wasn't enough reason to listen, now you got like triple the reason. So we just talked about comic books. Mark Miller, obviously, I can't go a day without referencing X-Men the Animated Series because wind in my hands. So check it out. It's up there right now. He's going to be doing a weekly show. Eventually, we plan to get Agamemnon to join us as well if he's not enjoying the produce at Central Market.
I was enjoying the produce. No, I mean, I knew it was going to happen. I knew I wasn't going to be able to make it.
Yeah.
But we tried to hurry up, but it was just like, one, we needed groceries, and then two, the next day was the whole barbecue for our friend.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, damn, well, which was kind of funny because, like, oh, shit, the fajitas here at Central Market are way too expensive. They were like $10 a pound.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
yeah.
dang.
So
some pricey meat.
we went to we went to Randall's next to your place.
Uh-huh.
And they had nothing. They
Wow.
had no fajitas at all, which isn't like surprising because usually when you go anywhere in the evening, fajitas and ground meat. I mean, ground meat's there, but it's like the one you want is kind of sparse, and there's probably not unless you're looking for a pound, you're not gonna find what you want. But fajitas are like practically non-existent. Luckily, we went to the one right down the HEB that's between both of our houses, right there on Brody, and I found 2 packages of fajita meat. It was like 4 or 5, maybe 6 pounds, for like $20. So I was like,
"It's a good deal."
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good deal. So I was like, "Yep, getting this." And then we ended up having to go get some other stuff, and we didn't account for other things. And then beer, which I'm drinking a lot of right now. I'm on beer number 3.
Oh, today's St. Patrick's Day?
Today's St. Patty's Day,
St. Patty's
so I'm going to
Day.
issue
Yeah.
myself a
Luck of the
challenge.
Irish.
But yeah, anyways, we didn't end up getting back till like almost 10, and then I had to spend the next almost 3 hours prepping for the next day. Then cleaning, and then marinating the fajita meat, and then starting on the beans. It was just an arduous, and then putting the kid to bed.
Sounds like a delicious excuse.
It was a delicious excuse. I only
So you're
wish
excused.
I only wish I had the next day off because at work the next day I was freaking tired.
Yeah.
I was exhausted.
I only wish I was eating those fajitas right now.
Yeah, but right now I'm on beer number 3. 1, celebrating St. Patty's Day, and 2, I'm issuing a challenge. Every 10 minutes, I'm going to try to finish a beer. So we started approximately at 8:10. So 8:20, I should have been on my second beer. 8:30, I'm on my third beer. So I guess I got 2 minutes to finish before I start my next beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So of course we got EMS on standby. We got
Yeah,
the
like-
stomach pump for when the stomach
I have to
alcohol
finish 6
poisoning.
beers in an hour.
Yeah, this is
Now,
like
for any normal alcoholic, that's fine. But I'm a casual drinker.
Mark.
Yeah. For those that don't know, Mark is at one point he was
beer drinking machine.
Yeah.
At one point he was an avid guest,
Yeah.
and then
He moved
he
to
grew up
Louisiana
one
or
day
something?
and decided to be really responsible with his job and cut down on the drinking. He did really good. He got into rehab. We were really proud of him, and still really proud of him. He's a good dude, great dad, and but now he's like gone. He's like in Louisiana or
Yeah.
some shit.
Louisiana.
That's where his job took him.
fast.
Like that's how good he's doing, you know.
Eating
Yeah.
Popeyes every
So.
day. An envious position.
Popcorn chicken.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny though. It's like every time he does a status update, all it is like alcohol. It's just like, well, I survived.
You know,
rehab.
it's funny because like I'll post a picture here in a little bit, but that's still not close to what it used.
Oh
to
yeah,
be.
not at all, dude. Dude would have like he'll come over with like a 24 pack, and he'll just sit there and finish it.
He'll finish in
I think
a
that's a
couple
skill,
hours.
man. That's an acquired skill to be able to do that.
Yeah, just like alcohol's acquired taste, that's an acquired skill.
Yeah.
But Melanie says he looks forward to drunk Agamemnon, or however you spell it.
Jesus.
And you got it close. If you replace that E with an A, Aga, not Aggie. But other than that, that was very good. I'm proud of you, Melanie. But we'll move on to the next topic here. So Spider-Man, as we all know, Amazing Spider-Man 2 comes out at some point this year. And I don't know, I'm not really excited for it, but apparently they're making a whole Spider-Man universe, you know, Sony is. So they're gonna be bringing Venom, Sinister Six, and all these other characters.
No Carnage?
I'm sure Carnage will be on his way. I can't imagine that they do that if they're gonna do like a whole Venom series that they wouldn't have Carnage. But right now Carnage hasn't been announced. But they pretty much want to pull from a lot of Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery. And, you know, there's been all the rumors that this next movie is going to have the Sinister Six, which I don't know, because if you brought Spider-Man 3, that was the biggest problem, was like the ridiculous amount of villains. So it's like now you're gonna have 6 of them. Like you didn't learn your lesson. They're like, you know what, 3 was too much. I got an idea. Let's double that and put 6 in there. It's like, okay, you guys are not even trying to do it better. But I don't know. It might be interesting, and it also depends on which Venom they do, because there's the Eddie Brock Venom, and then there's the Flash Thompson Venom, which people seem to prefer, because apparently he's a lot more interesting.
Flash is really incredible, because his is, like, I don't know, because he's, like, all military now, he's not like the mean jock that you're used to,
I'm going to pick on you, Parker.
Yeah, whereas Eddie Brock was pretty much the same as Peter, but just an asshole.
Well, I guess they would be the same character in Amazing Spider-Man 2, because Spider-Man's an asshole in that one, too.
Well, yeah, that's what the one that yeah.
But Flash, after his military experience, he gets caught in a grenade explosion, and he loses both his legs from the knee down. So Venom leaves Eddie Brock because Eddie Brock's got cancer, so he's useless to him. And then he spends some time with Matt Gargan, who's the Scorpion. So Gargan is the Scorpion for a while, which he was really, like, creepy.
Yeah.
Like the monster in your closet Venom, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And he'd eat arms and stuff like that. He was a little more visceral. And then Venom went to Flash. I don't know how he got there, but he ended up going to Flash. This was like Thunderbolts, like 03, 04, when Warren Ellis was on it, and that was the Matt Gargan Venom that I knew of.
Gotcha.
And then now I'm keeping up with Thunderbolts 2013, which is an incredible series, or I guess it started back in 2012. But all the same, it starts out with Flash Thompson Venom, and you get a little bit of background, and then I did my own little research. But Venom seeks him out, and so he uses Venom to replace his legs.
Yeah.
But he uses Venom where it's almost an armor, like Venom conforms into it looks a little bit football and a little bit medieval-ish, and a little bit military. So it's got a combination of all 3 of those, and he still uses guns and stuff, and he doesn't rely on Venom so much. But every now and again, he lets Venom loose and lets Venom do its thing, But otherwise, Venom's just a suit of armor so that he can run around and use the legs.
Oh, I see.
And then he goes around, shooting people.
Yeah.
He still has his military. He still falls back on his military experience while using the Venom suit more as like armor.
Yeah.
So it's a really cool concept. I really like the way he does it. And when he's caught in a pinch, then he just lets Venom go loose. And so he just typical Venom was like and turns his arms into weapons and starts killing people and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah,
like the way you describe the armor, it's like he goes for like the double tap, then he goes for a 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
That's like
But and the other cool thing is that it's not all like creepy Venom. Like it's still kind of there, but you almost feel like there's this mutual respect for the other. Like maybe Venom wants to turn a new leaf and not be so like evil.
Oh, I see.
Because Flash at heart is still a good person. He fights for our country in the comics, and he's still trying to keep that up. He's still trying to keep innocent people out of the way, and that kind of stuff. So he's probably the most interesting Venom. Not I don't think he'll replace the classic Venom, especially not with people like Mark, who like loves Venom Eddie Brock. You're not going to convince those people, but for the modern reader, if they had to pick between the 3, they'd probably go with Flash. Because Flash is the one that's the most like emphatic.
I never really see that, because it's like Eddie Brock's Venom can only do so much. Like his whole thing was that he hated Spider-Man.
Yeah,
it's like okay, well, eventually there's nothing more. Like that's all it is. It's
and that hate fuels Venom, but eventually Venom gets sick of it and like you're dying of cancer, you're very vindictive, and you're jaded.
It's like even Venom is bored with the storyline. He's like, I need something more interesting in my life. I'm getting out of here. But does Flash Thompson Venom still have the trademark tongue?
Only when he lets Venom get loose, go wild whenever he's in a pinch.
So it's kind of like Miley Cyrus.
Otherwise,
wild, the tongue comes out.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just like Well, I'll show you a picture.
Let's see Venom start.
But it's almost like a Spider-Man mask. It's just a black mask with the red eye outline.
Okay.
Like a Spider-Man vein.
Yeah.
But it's just like the red eyes on the mask.
Gotcha. I think it's really interesting because I'm glad you brought up Thunderbolts because they're going to do some of the Spider-Man movies based where the villains are the main character. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes about. It makes me wonder, are they going to win in the end, or is it?
It kind of looks like a little bit of a Halo, like a Halo type armor.
That's what he looks like. But for Thunderbolts, Ross wanted the whole red theme, so he had, Venom can convert its color. So I guess I didn't know that. So the parts would be white, like the eyes and the Venom symbol. Those are all red for the Thunderbolts purpose.
Okay. But yeah, I really hope they go with that one. I mean, it seems like there's just so much more that they think they can do with that character. Or, I mean, since they're doing a really long franchise, maybe the first Venom will be Eddie Brock. Maybe he'll get killed. Yeah. And then the next Venom will go to Flash Thompson. Yeah. After he loses his legs in Nam. So
yeah, I wouldn't actually mind finding this toy because it looks pretty dope.
Yeah.
So our next topic, also in the Marvel Universe. So there's a rumor. I already know it's bullshit, but it's fun to bring up. But apparently there was a rumor going around that the Fantastic Four is supposed to come out with Michael B. Jordan dunking on Doctor Doom, and supposedly they said that they completely dumped the director, the screenplay, and the cast, and they're gonna completely redo it. I mean, it's one of those things where it's just really it's just obviously they wouldn't be 6 months away from getting ready to film it, and they're like, you know what, we changed our mind, we're not gonna do this. So it's one of those rumors where I think someone just pulled it completely out of their ass. Just probably wishful thinking because they probably weren't happy with it. So they're like, well, maybe if I write it, it's going to come true, and maybe they just won't have it, and we'll be able to get a white Human Torch, and that'd be better. So I don't know. But I mean, obviously, people are very polarized on the casting.
Yeah.
Not even just Michael B. Jordan, but Jamie Bell and whatever the other characters were. Can't remember their names, but I don't know. But Fox has denied it.
Kate Mara.
Yeah, Mara. That was one I was trying to remember. But, so obviously Fox already came out and they're like, no, we want to make money. Plus, if the only good thing that would have come out of if they scrapped it, they probably wouldn't be able to put together another movie, so the rights would revert back to Marvel. So,
yeah, because that was the whole thing with the Man of Steel movie.
Yeah.
It had to come out before the rights revert, which was a month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cutting it kind of closer, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Real close.
Well, that's why we got that masterpiece. But, speaking of Mara, was that her name?
Kate Mara.
I
have it up here on the board.
Okay, yeah. So apparently she's not just going to be in Fantastic Four. She is going to be... Or is it Kate Mara? Okay, never mind. Is that her sister? Okay, never mind. So
you're thinking of Rooney?
Yeah, Rooney Mara. So Kate Mara's got Fantastic Four down. Rooney Mara is right now in negotiations to play Tiger Lily. So they're doing I don't know if you'd even call it a reboot, just a new Peter Pan movie.
Yeah, a new Peter Pan movie.
So Tiger Lily, for those that don't know, is always been a Native American character. So obviously, I mean, they've already done that once last year with a Lone Ranger casting Johnny Depp, even though he was 1/18th Native American. Yeah. So people, some people were upset, but it wasn't like the backlash that Michael B. Jordan got. But it's one of those things where, whenever a non-white character gets played as a white character or a white actor, it's there's a little bit of grumbles, but it's people are usually just oh, that's not fair because there's very few roles for Native Americans to begin with. I mean, you can't have Dancing with Wolves every year. So it's there's there's very few. It's all right, it's we get one a year pretty much, and it's you're gonna take that one.
Take that away. It's yeah, take it. Yeah.
So people always have the comeback, when Human Torch was cast as a black actor. They're well, why don't Some people in the comments were saying well, why don't we just do a Martin Luther King movie and have him be white? It's you do realize that he was...
Are you stupid? Are you a person that is stupid? Do you have a low IQ?
The funny thing about that is, okay, you do realize, Human Torch is fictional. Martin Luther King is an actual real person.
Martin Luther King was an actual black guy. He was a very important figure in the past century.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's it's not apples and apples to apples, It's it's not... It's there's a reason why people get upset, because it's there's very few opportunities... And it's people just kind of willy-nilly just this actor fits better, so we're going to go with that. But in the grand scheme of things, for me, it's I really don't care about a Peter Pan movie. So
I don't either.
Yeah, I'm not really.
But the principle of it, it's kind of come on, guys. Come on.
So. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are comparing this to Johnny Depp from The Lone Ranger.
Oh, yeah.
Where he plays Tonto.
Yeah. We saw get that movie.
And he was decent as Tonto, but the only reason they didn't cast him because they didn't want to get an Indian actor. Disney thought that movie was going to bring in the big bucks.
Oh yeah.
And Johnny, what the hell's his name again?
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. Yeah, Johnny. I was like, no, his name's not Johnny. No, Johnny Depp has been their moneymaker for like the past 2 decades.
Yeah.
You know, like that's been their go-to guy to make all their big Disney kid movies.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, okay, we have to have him in this movie, and we already got, he's got a really cool name, like Arnie Hammer.
Oh, yeah.
We got him to play the Lone Ranger, so let's get Johnny Depp to play Tonto and give him the majority of the screen time.
Yeah.
And the movie flopped hard. And I don't know that it was Depp's fault, because he's a great actor, but even great actors, they have their bad movies from time to time. You know, even Tom Hanks makes bad movies.
No.
Yeah. There was a movie he did with Julia Roberts a couple of years ago. I forget what it was called, but it was like he was going back to like school or something. Or he was a teacher. But it was not that great of a movie. I forget what it's called. It's like a dude's name is the movie. And it's his character's name. It was like John Harris or some shit like that. I don't know. I'll look it up.
Yeah, that's true. But even the best actors have bad movies. I don't know. Johnny Depp, on the other hand, like Johnny Depp, just like it seems like he quit acting. In my opinion, he was just like after Pirates of the Caribbean, he's like, you know what? I could just play the same character my whole career.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what he did until like Rum Diary came out. I was like, okay, well, you know, Hunter S. Thompson is my man, and you know, this was one of his books. So I'm gonna do him some justice, you know, because he was like deeply hurt whenever he had killed himself.
Yeah.
So you know, he brought the acting chops back out. And Rum Diary is like one of my favorite movies. It's such a great film, and to me it helped me immortalize Amber Heard. Like, I already liked Amber Heard, not because she's hot. I mean, she is. She's very beautiful, but because she's from Austin, you know.
Oh, okay. I didn't
local
realize that.
Austin. Like, she went to Austin High, I think. I forget. But she went to an Austin high school before she made it big.
Oh, wow.
You know, she was like in Pineapple. She played Seth Rogen's girlfriend in Pineapple Express, and she's done a couple other films. But yeah, when you see her in that movie, she has this like really classical beauty. You know, like she belongs in like the 1950s. Like that's how beautiful she is. And to me, that's where the most beautiful women come from. Is like the 1950s, like the pinup models. Now it's like the skinny anorexic shit. You know, that's a different kind of beauty. But like I like the full figure, big body ladies.
That's coming back. Actually, that's coming back, Jay. Like the full figure is actually coming back now.
Well,
like
you're a model, so
no,
I'll trust you. I trust you.
I'm telling you, like it's like a whole new crave now. Like plus size model. That's like what people can relate to.
Yeah.
Like now, mothers, like even maternity, like mothers, like now it's like they're having more models that are mothers that now people are looking up to. It's like, okay, yeah, I can believe this now.
Yeah.
Well, even like Rachel Ray did some modeling. So, so there you go.
Well, she's not bad looking.
Yeah, she's not. But I mean, she's not who you'd think of as like being a model.
Yeah.
You know. Well, so did Octomom, but that was a little bit different.
Oh.
Yeah, she was like a...
Man, you're taking it back to like episode 30.
I don't know why. That was the first one that popped in my head when I was like, I'll just give people that image again if they've seen it. Spaghetti. Just imagine a naked Octomom dripped with spaghetti sauce.
No!
That's too vivid.
My eyes. The goggles do nothing.
Well, you can wash your eyes out with confirmation that Dr. Doom will not be played by a woman in the Fantastic Four reboot. But they have they pretty much have like 4 people that are in the lead for the role, and I'm familiar with none of them. So there's Sam Riley, Eddie Raymond, Toby Cabell.
Redmayne?
Huh?
Is it Redmayne? Eddie Redmayne?
Redmayne. Yeah, and
you said Raymond.
Oh, did I? Yeah. Close enough. And Damon Hill Gleason from Dread.
Yeah.
And Unbroken. So I really kind of don't care who they pick because I have no idea who any of these people are. I mean, their resumes.
I bet you their resumes are stacked, probably, but
you know, like one of them, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Les Miserables, Dread.
Les Miserables? What is wrong with you, sir?
Did I say Jupiter Ascending?
Yeah, that's that Wachowski brothers or sibling movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Oh, Melanie's gone.
Yeah, she left us. She was like, I'm going to go get a beer myself. So I don't know. I really wish they actually would have cast Lena Headey. I think that she would have been a good Doom if they were going to make it a woman.
Yeah, but she's kind of older.
Yeah, she could still be older, but Reed's supposed to be old.
No, but not in this movie. They're all really young. Like, they're supposed to be mid-20s.
Well, they should have made her like the teacher, and maybe they had like a thing going on. Like he was like her prize student.
Like,
God! Oh my God!
Like she was like his college professor.
Oh, dude.
And then she was even more into him when she found out that he could stretch to any proportion.
You're so elastic.
She could recite Shakespeare to me all night long.
And then when he transferred to a different school, then that's when she begat the grudge. It's like, no, now my science fair will not be complete. So,
You're
I don't know.
hanging around with this whore?
Yeah, right. She's not even played by Jessica Alba this time.
She doesn't even have an associate's.
Yeah, right.
I've got 7 master's degrees.
And that was just on my first day.
Yeah, but she's my age.
It's like, oh,
Fuck off.
Yeah, so you're calling me old? And then from then on, they were mortal enemies.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, you got a few wrinkles there. I will destroy you, Richards! Just foot dives him. Puts him in, puts him in the blender.
Nothing is beneath doom!
Time for blend.
Yeah, basically. So, speaking of Lena Headey, so...
Yeah.
Also, I'm on beer number 4.
You're a little behind. You should be on number 6
like,
by now. You gotta drink up.
You gotta...
I got 14 minutes to finish 2.5 beers. I don't know if I can do it, guys.
I don't know. I believe in you. Lena Headey believes in you.
Yes.
So it's kind of an extensive article that I haven't read, so I'm just going to poke around and see if I can
feel
find
weird.
something interested in it. What?
I feel weird.
Yeah, that's the alcohol seeping through your veins.
Your liquid courage is coming out, huh?
I don't know if I'll be able to play Marvel as well as I should be.
That's probably that's the feeling of all anything you have in your stomach about to jettison out.
Well, no, it's not that.
Style.
Better.
That's the alcohol, like concentrated acid, eating at your brain and what's left of your mind.
I don't know what you just said. I like it a lot.
You're going to want to totally ride that feeling because I'm stoked about Lena Headey.
I'm stoked about this person.
Yeah. Well, that's what she was talking about female characters, her character from Game of Thrones. And basically just, she's saying there's kind of a renaissance with women with the type of roles that they're able to get. I mean, especially you look at 300 Rise of an Empire. As much as we made fun of that movie, it's like you have two very, granted, Lena Headey's character was kind of shoehorned in because they're like, remember that first movie? Let's throw these characters in. Yeah. But Eva Green even more so. It's like her character, she was a very formidable villain. Like, she was the main villain.
Yeah, I would say that she had a big role in the movie.
She's a really great actress.
Yeah.
And the ironic thing was, like, literally, she, like I was saying, she was pretty much like, each general kept failing her. When she finally got pissed off enough and just did it herself, she destroyed their whole army. Like, she outwitted, the main character. It just fucked his whole shit up,
Lena Headey?
Yeah, no, not Lena Headey, Eva Green.
Oh, okay.
No, Lena Headey, when she finally comes in, like, that pretty much screws up Eva Green's plans. But, it's like Eva Green's character, like, she was a formidable opponent, and she almost, like, if she didn't get, like, drawn into a trap, like, at the very end, like, she pretty much would have had, like, it would have been over. I mean, literally, he had to, like, survive an explosion that happened right in his face that made no sense that he could have survived.
Who, Themistocles?
Yeah, so he pretty much had to pull an Ex Machina just to even survive what happened.
And he just wakes up.
Even with my knowledge of...
There's a fish is like, out of nowhere, like, the ship blows up. He's drowning, basically, and then he opens up his eyes. And then basically he sees some fish that are actually eating other people these dead comrades.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, tasty.
I love fishes because they're so delicious.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like in this dreamlike state, and then all of a sudden he just wakes up on shore alive.
What?
Yeah, not even explained or anything. He's like, he didn't even ask, so what happened? How did you guys pull me out? It was like,
yeah, he didn't even ask. He was like, so did we win?
Yeah, I was like, what happened?
I've got a question.
Yeah.
What is the significance of Themistocles? Because even with my knowledge of, like, Greek mythology, I have no idea who this guy is.
He had a blue cape. And he was pretty good at kicking ass, and he rode a horse on a boat.
Yeah, not everyone can do it.
I think
that is true.
That's like that Old Spice. He's got that wonderful horse. We should have rode it backwards.
That would have been hilarious. The horse is moonwalking.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I don't know if he's even like an important character in Greek mythology. I think they were just like, well, we got to tie these movies together. we got to try and make way for another sequel. So we'll throw in this random dude, and hopefully he'll pull it off.
Well, we were talking about this earlier. I think he's like in reference to like Spartacus. We kind of got that Spartacus type feeling from the character.
Yeah, but I don't think the historical character was like that. I think it was more like, well, 300 was good. Spartacus was a really popular show, so let's give him Spartacus-like qualities. You know, because the audiences that will resonate well with the audience. I mean, they even had like a major character from Spartacus.
Adam, man, come on, you can't. That's like that's a foreshadow. They foreshadowed that, man.
Later on, he gets
Quicksix is gonna come in.
Blabber comes in there and enslaves all of them.
What?
Can he form proper words? It is an offensive tongue, and he stabs him in the mouth. But I don't know. I actually wish. I can't remember his name. I kept saying he was the one that should be Batman, but the guy Liam McIntyre. I kind of wish that they would have cast him. I think he would have been really
Spartacus.
badass. Yeah,
That guy.
Spartacus. Yeah, that guy is Spartacus. But anyway, going back to Eva Green. So I mean, they kind of put out statistics. This is from the Mary Sue, and they're talking about like how few like roles like women get where they're actually. You know, where they're not just like a side character, and they actually have like some actual significance.
Their lead role.
Yeah.
Or at least like co-lead.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And especially for a movie like this, like she wasn't like the damsel in distress. Like she was fucking shit up. Like she was killing everybody who got near her, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
She wasn't that like second in command stepsister that Cersei's just like, shut up, bitch, at like the end of the movie, and she gets all quiet and scared.
Yeah.
Where he finally realized, I'm the one in power. But like she was actually like kicking ass the entire time.
Like, she was the reason why
she wouldn't be silenced.
Yeah. Like, well, literally, he did say silence and smacked her in the mouth, and then she's just like, whatever. Just walked off and did what she was going to do anyway.
Yeah.
Evergreen plays a lot of those. She did good, yeah.
Evergreen plays a lot of those roles, you know?
Yeah.
Like I said, in Camelot, and even her character in Casino Royale.
Oh, yeah.
You know, she just plays like these really strong, bitchy, hardcore, and even like somewhat vulnerable like characters where it's just like, man, they just like got a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
You know, they're really great characters that you just kind of like get yourself wrapped in and enveloped in.
Yeah, and Lena Headey's much the same way, you know, with her character also in 300, you know, Queen Gargo, and even more so in Game of Thrones. It's like, I don't know, like honestly, I hate her character in Game of Thrones, but she's like a very complex character. She's, I don't know, she's not like just your run of the mill like, oh, here's the female character that isn't really like interesting or whatever. Like she's very deep. She's like, I don't know, like she's one of those characters. I guess I'd say she's a character that you love to hate. Yeah. You know, even more so than Joffrey, because it's like with Lena Headey, it's like with Cersei, it's like she has redeeming qualities despite the fact that she's kind of like a terrible person.
Yeah, because you don't wish she died. You just wish like something bad might happen to her.
Well, I do wish she died, but that's just me. But that's because I'm House Stark, and those Lannisters need to go. But I don't know. But yeah. But I mean, it's really cool. So hopefully, like more roles like this and more actresses like these two, you know, get more opportunities to do what they do because they're obviously excellent at it. So and yeah, and just props to Lena Headey. I mean, for someone to portray a character, because it's different than like Walking Dead, where they just write the woman really badly, and you're just like, oh man, Lori, she's terrible. I want her to die. But we want her to die because she's terribly written.
Okay, did you see last night's episode?
I did not. Okay. I have not seen it yet.
I did, and I don't see what the whole fuss is about.
Okay. Well, okay, well, without seeing it, to me, my guess is all the episodes in this, like, second half of the season have been terrible, except for not last night's the night before that was the first one where it's like, wow, they finally actually wrote a good episode. So maybe that...
This one, the acting was still really bad.
Yeah, but I feel...
And I saw the climax part that everyone's talking about. I don't know if you want me to spoil it or not.
No, I haven't seen it yet. But, I mean, to me, it's just like, I think it might
It's not good.
I think it might just be, like, in contrast to the other episodes, this one was like, wow.
No, I get it, but they're saying like, "Oh my God, they did something," which is like a first for TV.
Oh yeah.
I want to say it's something.
I know you want to say it.
We'll talk about it next week. Put a pin in it. We'll talk about it next week.
That's on the to-do list.
But I saw it, and I was reading like 2 articles today about it. I'm not gonna spoil anything, so don't worry, guys. But yeah, I was watching it, and I was just kind of like, okay, here's the moment. And then I'm watching it happening, and there's, well, I can't even say it because I feel like anything's going to be a spoiler. But anyways,
was it open mouth kissing?
The only thing I'll say is that it involves Carol.
And
then Carol says something to another person, and I'm just sitting there watching. It's like, oh, I already know what's going to happen. I've seen sad movies and I've seen all this other stuff. It's like I already know what's gonna happen. Whatever.
Yeah.
And then the thing happens, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. But it's not like. And then the next day, I was just like, wow, they went there.
Yeah.
But that was it to me. It wasn't shocking to me when I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
I was just kind of like, well, there we go.
Yeah.
The show's I guess is getting good.
Yeah.
And then the next day I'm like, this is the most powerful thing. It's like, like I don't know, like there's another thing was like I think it was from IO9, like the Game of Thrones. Walking Dead trades in cheap deaths for the most shocking revelation you've ever seen. And I was just like, unless that title is just clickbait, I highly disagree. Like, highly disagree.
I don't know. Well, I'll definitely have to check it out so I can actually comment on it. But
4 beers.
Got 2 more to go.
2 more, yeah. He's got a double time.
6 minutes.
But speaking of Game of Thrones, this is just a quick one. But for those of you that are getting ready for Season 4, maybe you haven't seen Season 3, or you just haven't seen it in recent memory.
Are you going to talk about my link?
Yeah. They have a 25-minute and 2 seconds. They have it on just Drew Blood.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really good, like, it goes really quickly. It doesn't feel like 20 minutes, but it goes through all the major points that happened in Season 3, so you can get pumped for Season 4, which, for those of you that have read the book, it's going to be really, really good. It's one of those, like, Game of Thrones, like, a lot of shows are very predictable. Like, they follow certain beats. And even, like, Game of Thrones, like...
And if they're not predictable outright, like, once the outcome comes to its climax, you're like, I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then it does, and you're just like...
I would say Game of Thrones is one of the few where it's like you usually don't see it happen because it doesn't follow.
Like the Red Wedding?
Yeah, you don't see
If you haven't seen the Red Wedding by now, then go watch it. Because I'm spoil shit. We've spoiled it before, but it's like when it happens, I was like, oh my god. Because like I've said before, like I saw the Red Wedding before I saw any other episode of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And I was pissed off that I did. Because once I started watching Game of Thrones, like I wish I didn't know that happened. Because I wanted to be shocked. I wanted to feel like what all the other YouTubers felt.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like the YouTube highlight clip. Yeah, where everyone's like, oh my god. No. But the thing was, when it all happened, I was still like, oh my god. Mostly because of Hibiki. Because she was like, I remember when who's the first person that gets hit is his wife.
Yeah.
Rob's wife. And she starts getting like stabbed multiple times in the stomach.
Straight up mafia shit.
And I forgot how like nasty it was, how brutal it all was. And she like, because her soft spot is like kids. She was pregnant at that time. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble focusing.
That's the
I'm on beer number
job.
I'm on beer number 5.
It's taking its toll on
and she, we're sitting there watching. Our bed was on the floor at the time. We're just laying down on our stomachs with our like hands on our chins, keeping our heads up, watching the show. And I'm like, I know what's happening. I know what episode this is. And and she's like, she doesn't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. And so they think this is like, oh, hey, it's another wedding.
It's such a beautiful reception.
It's such a
Grain's
beautiful
a
reception.
That's a beautiful
I don't like
song.
that old dude. He's probably going to fuck him over somehow. And then we're sitting there watching, and then all of a sudden that dude just walks up and is like, shake, 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 shake.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh. And then I hear Hibiki. She's just like, and like I was just trying not to smile, and I was like kind of like looking in the corner of my eye, like looking at her, and she had this huge face of disbelief, like her jaw was on the floor, and I was like, "Hey, pick up that jaw, dude." And she was just like, "Oh my god!" And then that whole thing is like 5 fucking minutes long. It's like, here's the painful thing. Now we're gonna stretch it out another minute, and then kill someone else, and then it's just gonna be this one horrible experience.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the whole time, her face is just like, her eyes are like 3 inches long each, and her jaw's on the floor, and she's just like. She just turns around like the slow look. She's like, oh my, what happened? I was like, they're all dead.
Did you whisper in her ear, Lannisters send their regards?
Yeah, because like, I remember the thing where what's his name? His name sounds like Rooster.
Roose Bolton.
Roose Bolton. There you go.
And he pulls back the
chainmail. Yeah. He puts his arm out, and what's her name, Catherine? Caitlin pulls his shirt back and sees the armor, and Jenny's like, "What does that mean?" And all of a sudden, Rob's wife starts getting stabbed. She's like, "Oh my god!
Let that be a lesson. If you're at a wedding and the other guests are wearing chainmail, they're probably about to
and
murder
it's not
you.
a Ren Fair, and it's not a Ren Fair thing.
It's not a Ren Fair, yeah.
And your friends that are getting married aren't LARPers. Yeah.
Chances are you probably should have stepped out to take a piss.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have a bad time. But yeah, I encourage people to watch the video, even if you've seen Season 3. It's just really good.
Yeah.
But pretty much for people that are looking forward to Season 4, I got 2 words for you. Purple Wedding. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love the way it looks.
But speaking of Lena Headey, she was talking about female characters and how TV is kind of like the new renaissance for women as far as acting goes. And she said, I think there's a sort of a renaissance for women right now, and you're not shelved anymore because you're of a certain age. It's like women are now being allowed to be written as interesting characters. I think the TV world is kind of leading it as well, all these great shows with incredibly fascinating female characters who are in positions of strength and leading storylines and holding stories. I feel like people are women are interesting, can be fucking nuts, and can be crazy and ugly and mean, and all the things that men have been celebrated as being. It's now becoming allowed for us, which is a fucking relief, because who wants to be the pretty lady sitting on a sofa? You know what I mean? It's awesome. And it really is. It's like, not even trying to be pro-feminist. Because I wouldn't say I'm pro-feminist. I'd like to think of myself as pro-human.
Yeah.
Pro-equality, not just hey,
pro-robot.
Women are great, because women are great, but men are pretty great too.
Yeah,
I like a lot of guys.
We have our moments.
We have our moments.
We all have our moments.
We have our time in the sun.
But it's
it is cool that finally, even in the day and age that we live in, there's still certain injustices. And it's sad to see that you still see racism, stuff like that, and you still see misogyny running rampant on the internet. And I think there was literally a poll to just think, not a poll, a research study that came out by scientists that people that are trolls or narcissistic, have social disorders, and are psychotic. It's proven, apparently. It's wow, so trolls are actually psychos to some extent, or just completely social freaks of nature.
So you should pity them even more.
You should pity them even more, but be careful who you're pissing off when you're trying to go toe-to-toe with a troll, because they might look up your address, show up, and kill you, and the rest of your family too, apparently.
Well, that's why you keep your powder dry.
But I mean, it's
2 to the chest, 1 to the head.
Yeah, make sure you got your vest on.
Yeah.
But it's cool that there are more strong female roles, because you don't really see enough of that. Usually they're oh, I need help. And even if they are this really cool, badass female, they always need bailing out by the male, macho character and stuff. And sometimes, you just kind of need a relief, and you need, a little bit of, imagination. I remember working with a guy when I was on the evening shift, and he was like, oh, man, because we were talking about action movies, and we were talking about old movies, and and then we got into mystery science theater. He was a fan of the Joel era.
Yeah.
And I was like, I grew up in the Mike era, and I grew to learn the Joel era, but that's another story. We started talking about action films, and he was like, oh, these are some of my favorite ones, and I was talking about Chocolate.
Yeah.
And how that movie is. I really love the choreography, but I didn't believe that she was kicking their asses.
Oh, God. Just this is a side
note. Just explain
because remember me and Joe, the River City Hobo, RIP. I remember we were watching that. We were all excited because they're yeah, she was Tony Jaa's protege. She's done martial arts training for years. And yeah, it's going to be badass. It's going to be Ombak, but with a chick.
And she does her own stunts.
Yeah, and it was all of her moves and all the choreography was badass, but it's just none of the moves felt like they had any impact.
Nothing telegraphed felt like it actually landed.
Yeah, it would just feel
it looked like a wrestling match.
Yeah, it felt literally even if you're not a tough guy, if you got hit with that move, it would hurt. You'd be It kind of stings, but they're like getting they're like flying across.
But it's not
going
to keep you from throwing a punch.
Yeah, it doesn't look like she would actually be able to do it.
It's not going to incapacitate you.
Yeah, in contrast to like Haywire. Yeah, if Gina Carano hit you with some of that shit, you would be dead. Like,
yeah, you'll be dead in seconds.
Yeah, like,
because she's a trained martial artist.
Yeah,
she was a champion at one point, and she can very much kill you.
Yeah, but it's like the choreography actually looked like believable. It's like how bad did Michael Fassbender get his ass kicked in this movie? You know,
he got bruised pretty good.
It's like it's believable that if she really wanted to, she could beat these dudes up. Like Chocolate was like a valiant effort, but I'm not buying it.
Yeah. And that's the thing, with some of these. What was the point I was making again?
About female role. What's that movie that's coming out with Angelina Jolie? Snow White.
Oh yeah,
Maleficent.
Yeah,
Maleficent.
Yeah, it's.
Dude, I already forgot my point.
Well, basically, I think you're just saying like how now instead of being the damsel in distress. Like, women actually have an opportunity to be, interesting characters and stronger characters. And it happens on occasion, but usually it's like, they're still, the second fiddle.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, they're the strong character, but they still need the man at the end of the day to save
Well, that was the thing, because, her dad was, a mafioso in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
And so she gets her ass beat, eventually. Because she, in the movie, she's got, Down syndrome.
Yeah, I think she has,
or Asperger's or autism.
It's autism. Because she was able to learn anything by watching it.
Yeah. So all she watched was Tony Jaa movies,
Bruce
which was
Lee.
The Protector and On Bach.
Yeah,
which were the only movies out at the time.
Yeah.
And so she learns all her moves from that. And at the end, her dad, because I guess her dad was Japanese, her mom was Thai.
Oh, okay.
And so, excuse me. She's fighting the Japanese mafiosos, and she gets her ass beat, and she's knocked out.
Yeah.
And her dad was the mafioso, so he shows up and saves her, and he fights, but he's kind of getting his ass beat, but it buys her enough time to actually regain consciousness, and then start fighting the main mob boss all over again.
Gotcha.
But it was this movie's good, but it could have been a lot better. Because you have movies like Salt, which to me, the choreography wasn't nearly as good, but it showed this female just kicking outright ass.
Yeah,
I did like the plot in that. That was good.
Yeah, the plot was good. It was written well enough.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it's a great script or definitely nothing to put in the Smithsonian, but at the same time, it wasn't a bad film. If it was on sale for $3, I'd buy it.
Yeah,
in a heartbeat. But
what about I
don't know if that's very big praise. If someone gave this to me for free, I would gladly accept it. Unlike most other movies where I would spit it back in their face.
Yeah. What about Underworld?
Underworld was good for its time. I don't know if I'll still enjoy it as much. I mean, I enjoyed it at the time when I watched it, but I don't know. But just to go back to your point with Lena Headey, one of the things that she mentioned that I thought was really interesting, where she's older women are also getting more of a shot. Because before there used to kind of be a cap where it's all right, you're this 40, old, you're no longer considered attractive, so goodbye. And it's cool that now it's they're no longer limited by that. And then it's just think of all the stuff you would have missed out on, with Lena Headey and Eva Green, just to name a couple. So it's really cool that, obviously Hollywood still has its gripes and its issues, as they are many, but the fact that they're actually, starting to become at least a little bit more progressive is nice.
Well, actually, you see a kind of a trend where now women they're taking all types of roles that are outside their comfort roles. I think a prime example would be Jennifer Aniston.
Oh yeah.
How she's had played a stripper. She has they're taking different type of roles, which is it's good.
Yeah, I almost feel like Jennifer Aniston's just taking whatever role she could get.
I think now, I wouldn't necessarily say a stripper's taking a role as a stripper. I wouldn't say that's exactly an empowering role. Depending, you have the Diablo Cody story where she was a stripper who got a chance to sell her script, and now she's this great script writer. Well, I wouldn't say great, but she's an accomplished script writer. And now she's worth millions. So when she writes a script for a movie, she's going to get a top-notch director and A-list to B-list celebrities to want to be in the movie just because she fucking did Juno.
Yeah.
And then she did Jennifer's Body. That didn't do that great. So I don't know what her Hollywood worth is nowadays.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the thing, you know. So in that sense, a stripper could be great. You have like Billie Piper in what was it? Diary of a Call Girl or something like that.
I don't know.
And I was talking to a friend recently at work, and he was saying like that was a really good movie for what it was. And so in that sense, or even like
The Bad Teacher. Who was in that?
Zhang Ziyi in Memoirs of a Geisha.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so in that sense, like, yeah, when you play a woman in the adultery business, that could be great. But when you're talking about like Sasha Grey in The Girlfriend Experience, yeah, I don't know so much. Or even Demi Moore in a striptease.
Yeah.
Or Elizabeth
Berkley, yeah.
Elizabeth Berkley in
Jesse Spano from
Yeah.
Saved by the Bell.
what was that movie called that she was in?
Oh, Showgirls.
Showgirls.
Yeah.
Hibiki loves that movie. She swears by it. She was like, "That's a great movie. You need to watch it." Nudity aside, it's still a great movie. You know, watch it for the boobs, but it's still a great movie.
Stay for the show.
Yeah, stay for the show.
Girls.
Yeah, but yeah, those aren't exactly movies that invoke like interest or like intrigue in most moviegoers.
Yeah, I would say like in contrast, I would say, I don't know, like playing, I don't know, just use Cersei Lannister again. Like that would be like more of like, oh, this was a role that, you know, once upon a time wouldn't have really existed. It's like, it seems like the stripper role would have been like all that they could have had. And like now it's like, no, there are actual like dignified roles now that they can play. Or Eveline Salt, you know, it's like, yeah, you're this badass Russian spy. You know,
oh, that was the point I think I was trying to make. Where it's like, Chocolate had it down, like the choreography, and it was great. But the delivery was awful. Whereas Salt was like, the choreography wasn't that good. It was decent. It wasn't bad. But it was decent. But at least the follow through and like the way the cinematography was shot, I was like, okay, it's believable to an extent. You know, but it dealt with a lot more like explosions and the whole espionage thing.
Well, that last scene was pretty bad, man.
Yeah.
When she got that guy, that was pretty bad, dude.
Yeah.
I was impressed by that.
So the perfect movie would be Salt and Chocolate.
Yeah, combined.
Yeah.
A combination of Salt and Chocolate, but played by
Gina Carano.
Or damn it, what's her name? Lucy Lawless.
You know,
What about
at first I was
what's her
saying
name,
I was
Rob?
going to say no, but I'm like, you know, Spartacus. Yeah, Lucy Lawless. Yeah, Lucy Lawless.
She's
can do
still
no wrong.
incredible. I am still so in love with
What about
her.
Michelle Rodriguez, man?
Yeah, she can't really act very well though. Michelle Rodriguez is excellent at acting like Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah, it's like the Will Smith effect.
Yeah, pretty much. She doesn't have
She
much.
can't grow. Like, she can't go beyond Will Smith. She can't go beyond Michelle Rodriguez.
Oh hell nah. But yeah,
she can just play like the hardcore, like, is she or isn't she lesbian, but not lesbian, like hardcore bitch.
I think she came out as bi actually late last year.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
I thought she came out as
bi?
outright lesbian. But I mean, like in all her movies, she's like, oh, in this movie, is she or isn't she? But at the same time, it's like, well, it doesn't matter because she's still hot. And at the same time, like, she still kicks ass. But if you look at Fast and the Furious and then you look at Battle for Los Angeles, it's just Michelle Rodriguez. Like, Michelle Rodriguez is a mechanic and Michelle Rodriguez as an army soldier.
Well, it's like literally her first movie was Girl Fight, and she has not played a different character since that movie.
Exactly.
You know?
Like, she knows her worth and that's what she plays. And to me, like, over time, she's just gotten more beautiful. But, like, she still plays, like, the hardcore badass that could fuck anybody up if you look at her the wrong way. But that's it.
Yeah,
like, she can't play, like, this, like, emotional, empathetic character, or she can't play, like, this hardcore villain with unredeemable qualities. She just plays the hardcore bitch who can beat anybody up no matter what she is.
See, I wonder with her, because I wonder if she's also just been typecast. Because she's only ever...
It's safe to say,
She chooses those roles. Those are the roles that she has, like, let's just say, like, certain actors or actresses when they get pegged, it's like, okay, this is certain thing, like, what's his name? Tyrese. I'm tired of seeing Tyrese playing a damn gangster dude, man.
Baby boy,
stop coming out with that same role, man.
Melanie says,
we'll see you, sagging your pants, being like, "Hey, I'm a gangster." Hey, we know we see Fast and Furious. We see it every role he does. It's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm so tired of Tyrese. Like, can he do something else, and can other actors get some work? But Melody says, "Come for the boobs, stay for the lesbian-like tendencies."
Exactly.
Yeah. There you
go. And that's the whole point.
But yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if Michelle Rodriguez just simply has no range, or she's never had an opportunity to show range.
Yeah.
You might be surprised, because there's some actors where it's like, oh, this person can't play anything but this certain roles they always play, and they can surprise you sometimes. So it would be interesting to see Michelle Rodriguez actually get that opportunity, But if not, I mean, it's like, can you imagine, like, that's your whole career? You're going to play the same character, like, you're living large, just having fun. It's almost like the Paul Walker thing, where it's like, yeah, I make Fast and Furious, I drive cars. It's not that great of a movie, but I'm going to make 10 of them, and I'm going to make a lot of money, and I can live this awesome lifestyle where I do nothing but surf.
And we're not done yet. It was like, there goes, keep on extending it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that was one of those interesting franchises where it's like, you thought it was over. Well, first of all, you thought it was over after 1, and then they made 2.
It was like, the heck's going on? Like, well, Tokyo Drift was... whenever you have a cast that has Bow Wow, or Little Bow, whatever his name is, Tokyo Drift, come on now.
I do love when they're drifting up. Like they're in the garage, and they're driving like upward. They're drifting upward somehow. It's like, I don't think that's even possible. Or when like they're drifting, there's like a huge crowd of Japanese people, and the crowd opens up like just big enough to not get hit by the cars. It's like, okay, you guys are not even trying anymore.
Apparently in Tokyo, you can drift upward, and you can do that because Fast and the Furious, hey, it endorses it. We're good.
Yeah. Luis says, I like Michelle Rodriguez, but she doesn't really seem to have a range or much facial expressions. The only facial expression she has, or she needs to have, is that she is her business face. That's on 100% of the time, because she means business. She's ready to kick some ass and chew bubble gum, and she's all out of gum. So, I don't know. She's still a favorite of mine.
Yeah, I think she was in what? And she was in Avatar too.
Oh yeah, and they killed her.
Yeah,
damn it.
That sucked really bad, but
she does in a lot of her movies.
She does have, yeah.
I like how they brought her back in Resident Evil just to like kill her again. It's like, hey, she's back. She's dead again, and again, and again, and again. Yeah, in that movie, they just had like a bunch of clones from like the first movie. And they just kept
it was weird. I thought it was like a dream sequence when I first like read all the rumors that were going on, because like everybody that's been involved, including Michelle Rodriguez, and I think Taye Diggs was also in the first one. They're all coming back. So I was like, oh, they're probably gonna do like some VR thing where they like make cameos. But I guess they actually did come back somehow.
Well, they were clones. Like, I think like the town or the place where it first had happened was like a test or something, and they run these simulations. It's supposed to be like it's almost like a defense contractor where they're like, well, this is what we can do to safeguard you against these attacks. But they're the ones actually doing the attacks, and they test the simulations because there's a whole bunch of Alice's as well, and so there's just a bunch of them, and they just have different roles in these worlds, and they just kill them all off and do it all over again.
Yeah. So
there's just like a bunch of them. It was actually a cool concept, but obviously it's Resident Evil, so you didn't get much out of it.
Yeah.
But some stupid action. But let's move on to another topic. We know that the Sandman movie is coming out, and so Neil Gaiman says he's cautiously optimistic. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is involved in the project. Says he of all people is an enormous Sandman fan. He and David Goyer talked about it. They've come up, I believe, with a treatment of what they want the story of the first movie to be like. Oh, the first movie. So I guess there's going to be sequels in the future. So they're taking an incredible writer, or talking to an incredible writer, Jack Thorne, who coincidentally already knew because he did the movie script for the Ocean at the End of the Lane. Okay, so he met him and he loved his treatment of his work. One afternoon they'll be spending time with Joseph Gordon-Levitt talking Sandman and pretty much know everything that there is to know. So it sounds promising that obviously they're really planning this out and they're trying to get the right people involved. They're not just like, well, let's adapt this movie and throw in whoever.
Yeah.
They're actually really respecting the source material, and hopefully it should be really good. I haven't read Sandman in years.
Well, I want to believe that JGL was like an outright fan of Sandman.
Yeah.
He's the one pretty much doing a lot of the legwork. And I have faith. It's JGL. I have faith. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's a comic book movie.
I don't know.
So it's hard to gauge. It's a little hard to gauge, especially being more like a Vertigo title. You know, I can't think of a Vertigo title that's even been adapted right now, but I'm having trouble. You know, because it would fall under Warner Brothers, wouldn't it?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. It could go 50-50 to me.
Yeah.
For me, it could go either way.
I'm a little bit more optimistic. I feel like comic book movies in general, the adaptations have been more or less good. I think it's not like a video game.
Avengers, man. People stepped up, man.
Oh, yeah. And they're just being taken a lot more seriously, and I think that's what it takes. It's like you have, like, you know, the Dark Knight trilogy, and it was good because the people cared about the source material. So I think that kind of gives us a lot of credence. You know, I think it's like, I think for me, like, the one to be, like, worried about is whenever they adapt, like, a video game. It's like, that's where it's like, they've
there's yet to be one concretely great video game movie.
There's been passable.
Like Double Dragon?
Billy.
Or Street Fighter?
Bibby and Jimmy! Bibby and Jimmy!
It's like the most passable one was Resident Evil, and there you go.
Yeah.
And even that one was like, okay, good enough.
Yeah.
Good enough. You know, so, I don't know. I think Sandman's going to be good. I'm looking forward to seeing it. And I don't know. I hope JGL actually is going to be the Sandman and they don't cast somebody else. But if not, I hope they get the right person. So, there's another article. I'm not as familiar, so I'm going to let Agamemnon take this one about Divergent's Shailene Woodley on Twilight. Basically, what message are you sending young people? So.
Okay, hang on.
Well, I'll start it off.
Let me bring it up.
I at least know the main parts. Basically, she's saying that she says Twilight, I'm sorry, is about a very unhealthy, toxic relationship. The protagonist Bella falls in love with this guy, and the second he leaves her, her life is over. She's gonna kill herself. What message are we sending to young people? This is not gonna help the world evolve.
So she doesn't like the character.
Well, the whole thing.
Well, it's not like it. Well, I mean, yes and no. I think it's more like not liking what the character represents, rather than just like unliking the character outright. I'm sorry, this beer is really getting to me.
Well, basically, think of it this way: it's like, let's say you dated somebody, and you know you're really into them, they're awesome, and you break up. Like, for you, and I already know you as a person, you might be sad, or you might even be upset, but you're not going to be like, oh man, I'm going to kill myself, this girl broke up with me. You're going to be like, well, let me get the next number of the phone.
Well, no, you're just like, that's why you just said, well, it's been a great time knowing, I wish you the best of luck in life, and in the future, if we ever cross paths, I will make sure that we have lunch.
You just send him a text, hags, have a great summer.
Yeah, smiley face.
But it's sending the message like, you know, when the love of your life is gone, your life is no longer worth anything.
Yeah.
And it's like, especially for the age bracket, it's like, you know, we're all like, you know, nearing our 30s. We're all late 20s and 30s. It's like, these movies are geared towards like 12-year-olds. Who, you know, they're not going to be the most emotionally stable people.
Yeah, young adults.
Yeah, so obviously they get in a relationship and they see, like, this movie is, like, probably, like, one of their first introductions to romance besides, like, Disney movies. So it's gonna have a firm impression. So when they finally get to that point where they meet the guy, the suave dude who ends up being a douchebag and breaks their heart, you know, you you want their first impression to be suicidal? Like, that's what you're trying to tell them, you know?
Yeah, because, like, I've seen the first Twilight movie, and I kind of liked it. I kind of liked Edward's character. He was, like, weird and funny. Don't fucking laugh, asshole.
I was not even laughing at that. Louis says, what if Jay was dating Jesse Eisenberg?
You're an asshole, dude. What is wrong with you, Luis? Come on. I'm vulnerable right now. I'm very vulnerable.
He's invulnerable.
That's actually kind of funny,
Don't lose.
I would never date Jesse Eisenberg. It's all about... I have to...
Michael Cera?
No.
Louis said turn in your man card. I think referring to the fact that you've watched the first Twilight movie.
He said, man up.
Melody said, I think sober Agamemnon will regret admitting to liking Twilight.
We said, well, you know what Jason, he says, hail to the king, baby.
Turn in your man card.
Give it up.
Give it up. The king is here.
You're going to have to watch 300.
Luis and Melanie, they're like what's that one song? The 69 Boys, a tag team back together.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, party people over here, some noise.
Yeah.
Party over here. Party over there.
I like
That's the 1-2 punch combo.
Oh man,
You're out for the count.
I'm
You
so
can't,
horrible right now.
You can't handle the standing 8 count. So whatever truth do you want to unearth now that you're intoxicated?
I don't even know anymore. Yeah, okay, I saw the first movie at Hibiki's insistence, and I kind of liked it. And there was like funny parts with. Shut up. There was funny parts with Edward. Oh my god, why am I?
And
doing
you wanted
this?
to go.
Yeah, I wanted to. Oh my god, I want to kiss your mustache.
You're like, oh, you're so pale. I love the fact that you don't.
You're so
get any
pale,
sunlight.
and I love it when you glisten in a 98-degree weather. Did I just say that for real? Oh my god, I said that.
Did you nibble on the nape of? Just sink your fangs into her. It's like, I want you to know that I love you. I was like, oh shit, I'm fucking bleeding. What was that? I'm just really into this movie. I got caught up in the moment. It's just the fact that when I see you, you sparkle.
Yeah, you sparkle. You shine bright like a diamond.
You're beautiful like diamonds in the sky.
Like, I don't know. The first one showed potential. The second movie was kind of garbage, and then like the last 2 movies, which was like the last book. Yeah, I don't know. And then Hibiki, she had read all the books, all 3 books, and at the end, yeah, she becomes all like semi-suicidal, where like she's like kind of like threatening to kill herself if like Edward doesn't say, not really, but like that's what it is. Like, oh my god, I can't live a day without him. I'm gonna die. You know, like this real 13-year-old attitude, and she's like fucking 20. You know, it's like, get the fuck over yourself. Go get a job at McDonald's and fucking support your baby, your fucking vampire baby. You know?
Yeah. Well,
you probably just, if you got a job at McDonald's, that would be kind of interesting and comical.
Wouldn't that make her
what,
more
are you hungry?
suicidal,
She
though?
gonna go, yeah, she gonna be like, I'm just angry. Want me to just eat the employees there?
That would be good. That's what they should have done. It's like all our new hires keep disappearing. You have any idea what happened? And Bella, and she just has like blood all over her mouth. Sorry,
No clue.
I just eat these ketchup packets. They're really
No
good.
clue.
We keep finding body parts in the fryer. Do you know anything about this? No.
I definitely don't know about the body parts in the dumpster in the back.
I know, right? But I'm really digging this finger food.
You're not supposed to eat
Oh,
that.
that's good. Would you like fries with that vampire?
Dude, that's what they could call the McNuggets, vampire bites.
Yeah.
The McNibbles.
They're to die for.
But yeah. Anyways, I like the point that
Put out that you love-
Shailene Woodley makes.
Yeah, that
Where-
Twilight's great and you love it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Shiley LaBeouf.
I'm not actually familiar with Divergent, although I did put this article up in the Google Docs. I didn't do my research well enough, but I'm guessing even by the picture in the movie that she's in and the statements she's making that she plays a really strong female character. Obviously, or she wouldn't be making these kinds of statements.
Wouldn't that be ironic though? She's like playing like just as bad a character.
Yeah,
She's like,
I know,
well, I mean, I gotta eat, but this isn't the story that.
But this is how I
This is
feel.
how I-
Don't you worry about my character.
And you
Let
can't
me worry about Blake.
Yeah, you can't stop me. Yeah, yeah. You don't worry about feminism in the workplace. Let me worry about blank. But yeah, I totally get it. I totally get where she's coming from, and Bella is the worst message to send to, I think, any young adult, not just like the girls. What happened? What
Louise
let me
said
see.
Divergent doesn't have enough tween vamps for Jay to be knowledgeable on it. He says, I heart you, Jay.
Oh, wow.
You're lucky I'm drunk, you jerk. You jerk. You friggin' jerk.
The comic bubble.
Yep.
Stripes again.
Oh.
Wait, what were you saying? I completely forgot.
Yeah, I've completely
The
forgot.
point's been Divergent.
Yeah, but
it's been, yeah.
I think Twilight in general, like the first movie was okay, but like just like encompassing it as a whole, Twilight is a bad message in general.
Yeah.
Like you should be gearing your kids towards I kind of hate to say it, but like Ender's Game. Throw them some C.S. Friedman. Throw them some George Orwell. You know, get them some like real young adult stuff. Something that's actually going to. I'm sorry. I'm developing a lot of spit here. Something that's actually going to develop their minds.
I think a good choice would be like Hunger Games. I think Hunger Games is like, I know you're not a big fan. I know you're not a big fan, but on principle, it is like the antithesis.
On paper, it's good.
Yeah, it's a book.
But
it's supposed to be on paper. But no, Katniss Everdeen she's a good character. I mean, if you think think of her story.
She's a strong character, but she's very bland.
I know, yeah. The writing isn't that great, but I mean, like, okay, think of the situation that she's in that she overcomes. Like, literally, she's what, like 14, having to fight to the death against like her, her peers. Like, to being able to rise above that. Not only that, like the self-sacrifice, like for her sister,
yeah.
like and like obviously she has, and then the person who's the damsel is the guy, Peeta. It's like
he's happy with that role. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, he's happy that
he's really got no choice.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if he's happy with, but it's like
his greatest achievement in his life is putting topping on a cake.
His greatest achievement in life is using cake frosting as camouflage.
But he's super strong, though, man. He's super strong, though. You got to give him some.
But he doesn't even use his strength for anything. He's just like, Katniss, save me, Katniss, help me. He's like, shut up, Peeta. Carry my groceries.
But there's a reason you sound like food.
Yeah, right. But yeah, but she's a great role model, and it's like like regardless, even if you're not like a teenage girl, like people can latch onto this character because she's a badass, and it's like one of those things where it's like. They take, obviously it's a science fiction movie, it's not that realistic, but it's realistic enough for what they're going for. She's not like bouncing arrows off trees and shooting someone in the back. It's like she has a skill from hunting that she's able to use for survival, and just in general, she's a good character. Granted, the Hunger Games movies aren't the greatest, but at the box office, they can kill anything that moves, so.
That is true.
So Louis says, so Hunger Games is bad, but Twilight had promise?
No! Okay, look. Hang on, let me think of something. Let me think of something the same thing.
Game, set, match. Player defeated. You exploded like Mega Man when he was...
Louise! Why are you taking advantage of me, homie? You're supposed to be my...
You just got him with the level 3.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be my Latino
homie. And all.
Sir,
you're killing me, homie.
Defendant, how do you plead?
Happy St. Patty's Day.
Liberated. That's what he pleaded.
My client pleads no contest. No charges remedied against him.
I've never read the Hunger Games. Okay. No, that's a lie. I read the first Hunger Games book. I've never read the Twilight books. I saw the first Twilight movie. I saw the first Hunger Games. I will put Hunger Games above Twilight any fucking day of the week.
See how he backpedals?
Yeah, he's like contradictory. Yeah, it's kind of like a contradictory statement going on right now.
You would much rather have a world where vampires sparkle and kiss on the neck than have a dystopian future where children are forced to fight to the death for the sake of the capital.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to get him the Blu-ray set.
Yeah.
The best of Twilight.
Oh, no. I have no idea what you just said, but no.
So anyway, main bullet point of that.
Hunger Games good, too, Luis.
Twilight bad. So everyone go do some archery classes in case you ever have to fight to the death. You never know. Could happen.
I will grade Hunger Games above Twilight any day of the week, but
about Saturday.
Thursday. We'll talk about Thursday. Yeah. But with Hunger Games, I actually read the book, and then when I went and saw the movie, I was very unimpressed because in the movie I was hoping the black dude that survives at the end would actually I was really hoping that we would see that fight between him, and the dude from City 3.
Yeah, that was a huge disappointment.
So to me, that was that was a massive disappointment, and. The whole thing with Rue, I think they did that really well. That was the one thing they did really well. And then the very end, they did that really well. The way that was a butcher. Yeah. What you just did was butchering. But at the same time, I feel like there was a lot they could have done better, and then just looking back at the book, it just feels, and I understand it's geared towards young adults, but it just feels like very juvenile. And I always question myself, like, why am I even reading this? This isn't a book geared towards somebody my age. But I did enjoy it, but I felt it could have been a lot better. And it kept me from actually reading the second 2 books and even wanting to invest my time in the second movie. But even with all that said, I felt like there's a lot more of the movie, or not the movie, the book could have actually done better. And it just didn't go there. And then Woody Harrelson's portrayal as I forget the dude's name.
Heimdall, but that's not it.
But they didn't.
Heimich.
He wasn't the same. Yeah, he wasn't the same guy in the movie that he was in the book.
Yeah.
You know, to me, he was nowhere near the same person.
What about Lenny Kravitz, baby?
Yeah, Lenny Kravitz was good. Lenny Kravitz was good, and Stanley Tucci was great. And to me, and Jennifer Lawrence was okay.
This girl
for her caliber, she was okay. But Stanley Tucci took
for her caliber, sir. Have you not seen American Hustle?
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying for her caliber, Hunger Games was okay.
Oh, okay. Like she didn't really. It wasn't like an amazing performance.
Okay, you could. I got exactly. Stanley Tucci was great. He was funny, and then that part where he's talking about the wasps, where it's like doing all these weird like cutscenes, and he's all like in your face as he's explaining what these things are. It was just like hilarious.
Yeah, he was the best part of the movie. Just that smile all the time.
Yeah, and the blue hair just like threw me for a loop. Jesus Christ!
But it didn't have sparkling vampires, so that's why he didn't.
I'm having a lot of trouble concentrating, and I'm on my last beer. I only brought like 7 beers, and then like chocolate coffee.
Nice.
But I don't know, man. It just wasn't like an inspiring movie series where I felt like, oh man, I can't wait till Catching Fire, or I'm gonna go and read Catching Fire and Mockingjay as soon as they come out.
Yeah.
Or, like I stopped at the Hunger Games when I finished the book, and then I went and saw the movie. I was like, I'm not invested in this series. I can't do this.
I would have liked better if at the end if she would have just shot both of them with the arrow. Like, by the way, PETA, I got something for you. We're broken up. Just loose the arrow and...
Yeah, and then there was the whole controversy with her supposedly, I guess... And for me, it wasn't really, like, anything... Like, for me, it was an oversight. But I guess in the book, they explained her as having, like... more of an olive complexion, and I guess it was geared to her being it was kind of like her the author was describing her more as of like Native American
that's
features.
how a lot of people interpreted it.
I guess I oversaw that. So when I saw Jennifer Lawrence, I was like, oh cool, this is the girl that played Mystique in X-Men.
Yeah.
Now I know her as Jennifer Lawrence, but back then I was like, oh, that's the chick that played Mystique.
She was blue.
And I thought she did good. I had no problem with the casting. But when people, Rue stood out to me as being black and a little girl.
Yeah.
Who was like way out of her element, but still a crafty little kid. Like an adorably crafty little kid for the situation that she was in. So, when I saw that she was casted, I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense because she's a little 11-year-old black girl. And the internet fucking flipped a wig. I was like, why are you guys flipping a wig?
It was good.
Like, who did you picture when they outright said that she was fucking black? In the book, she was black!
Just on that point, I think it's funny how people overreact with that type of stuff, but especially in this situation. Because I remember people were saying like, I imagined a redhead child or whatever. It's like, well, okay, that's fine if that's how
what you imagine and what it described are two different things.
But it's like this was what actually is written in the book. You can't get mad because they didn't do what was in your head.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. People are sad.
So that was another thing that I felt really disenfranchised because I feel like the little girl that they picked for Rue was an incredible actress, and I feel like she's going to get more work in Hollywood in the future. But at the same thing, it's like, people had issue with Jennifer Lawrence, and all they really explained of her character in the book was being tanned.
Yeah.
More like maybe darker tanned, but she was pretty tan for the movie. She wasn't like pale white.
Yeah.
You know, she was tan enough. So I was like, yeah, I have no real issues with the movie. Other people might have issues, but what struck me was like, ooh, Rue's black. Like all these Twitter messages was like, what is wrong with you people? I'm not racist, but Rue,
but I can't enjoy this movie.
Yeah,
I can't make an
I'm sorry, I
emotional
can't enjoy this
connection.
movie with this little black girl playing Rue, even though she's outright described as being black
And adorable.
and
But
adorable.
you know?
Like house. But I mean, my biggest issue with the Hunger Games actually does have to do with Rue, where her and Katniss developed this relationship.
Yeah.
And for me, if I were the one writing it, I would have it to where they have to come to terms like, well, one of us has to die, and obviously it's not going to be Katniss because she's the bigger person.
Yeah.
She's older and she's larger, unless she outright sacrifices herself. But that completely, kind of destroys the trilogy unless you continue with Rue. But at the same token, it's like they completely absolve Katniss from making any hard decisions.
Well, I think that's the thing, though. I think what made Katniss so strong is that she wasn't going to play their game. Like at the very end, she's like, "Well, fine, fuck it. We're just going to eat these. We're just going to eat these berries." Like maybe it would have been better if Peeta had died and it was like her and Rue, and they would have pulled the same thing. Like, well, whatever. We're not playing your game. We'll rather both die than have the Capitol get their spectacle. You know,
Yeah.
I think that's what made it more powerful. I think instead of her having to succumb to, literally the game that they're playing with their lives, she's just like, nah, I got a better idea.
I say that would have been a much more outlet. And Luis right now is saying, I've never read the books, but I enjoyed the first Hunger Games movie. I enjoyed it as well, but I don't think that it did the book any justice.
Okay, well, to that point, it wasn't. I mean, they made improvements in the second movie, which I wish you would have saw it because it's actually. I never read the second book, but as a movie, the sequel is much better than the first one. But to Melody's point, you said you imagined Rue much more adorable. So, but yeah,
I don't know. She was pretty damn.
Actually,
Yeah,
I was actually emotional when she died. Actually,
Yeah.
I was that. Yeah, it made me.
I was too. Don't get me wrong. I was very emotional when she died, and I thought they played that scene beautifully. But as far, as far as the book to movie comparison, they did that to the T.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the book set the precedent because the book came first. And the book absolves Katniss from ever having to make any real hard decision that doesn't involve a villain. Well, if it involves somebody that was like her equal or someone that was like on her side, if she had to kill them, I think that would have added more character to her. And I know you want to say something, but let me just finish. The fact that she never had to make a conscious decision on whether sacrificing herself or killing Rue to save herself, to me, took away from the Katniss mythos altogether.
Here's my rebuttal. She had to make two huge decisions. One, she had to volunteer herself to go fight in that thing to begin with to save her sister. And it's not an easy decision to make when you're like you're going to be pitted against not only just like all the poor districts, but against like 4 people who their whole life they've been trained to kill people.
Yeah.
Not only that, she's
what was that, District 3?
Yeah, District 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
And then on top of that, she has to murder people. Like I know in movies they do that very casually.
Yeah.
But just imagine, like if you're in that situation, it's like all of a sudden it's like to save your family member, you got to volunteer, and then you have to try and find a way to survive. And it's like, all right, you got to kill everybody who's not you in order to get out. Like that's a pretty hard decision, especially if she's like a 15-year-old girl who's never probably had any type of like physical violence in her life, and she's having to shoot arrows through the fucking trachea of people.
Well, let's say human physical violence.
Yeah,
because
she's
she was
animals.
actively killing animals.
That's a little bit different. She's killing animals because she's going to eat them. She's killing like other human beings. It's not only, and that's the thing too. They're not villains. They're people who are in the same shitty situation she is.
Well, with the exception of District 3, who were pretty much bred to like, or District 2.
But even then, because that dude has like his moment of clarity right before he dies. He's just like, well, just kill me because I got nothing else. Like, like they're used just as well as everybody else.
Yeah.
The question is, what would you have done if you were in that situation?
I would have killed all those fuckers.
I would have killed everybody. Okay. Well, one, it's completely dependent on my position in life, and if I was single and whatever, I don't know, because maybe whoever I bonded with, I would be like, this little girl, like Rue, my life is worth sacrificing for her if she's able to survive. But if it was something like, I got 2 kids and a wife waiting at home, waiting for me, then I'm going to do whatever it takes, no matter what amount of emotional scarring. And even then, I'm not so committal to where I'd be like, yeah, that's for sure what I'm going to do.
Yeah. It's hard to put yourself in the situation where you're like, well, I got to kill this 12-year-old kid.
It really is. But at the same time, the author makes it easy to have scapegoats for Katniss to not make those kinds of decisions.
Okay, in that particular situation, I'll say yes. But in general, she still had plenty of hard decisions to make. And the kid that killed Rue, I think was still one of the younger kids.
Yeah.
She
was the youngest.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Rue, but I'm saying, like, the kid that killed Rue. Like, I think he was still one of the younger ones. But I mean,
but he was, like, in his teens.
Even so.
Conscious enough to be executed in Texas. Old enough to be executed in Texas.
So my client's crimes were committed under duress, and he was not in his proper state of mind. I move that we acquit this man. But yeah, I don't know. But enough about Hunger Games. I'll just say, I don't know. She had tough decisions to make. It's not easy to shoot someone with a bow, unless, of course, you're Liam Neeson or Jack Bauer. So, or Daryl Dixon. And they're zombies.
Or Robin Hood.
What does Louise saying mean?
Said, you mean Jay? Melody says, she's just kidding. Rue is the cutest thing. As I thought. But yeah, so just moving on to darker properties. So Constantine and The Preacher, one of Jay's favorite comics, they're both coming to TV. And we're doing, it's kind of a run that we're just talking about adaptations, but they're both talking about how they're trying to stay true to the source material. So for those that have read Preacher is probably one of the most violent and like raunchy comics you can ever read. Like, it's one of those where, like, if you told somebody about some of the scenes, you would probably like blush. Like, it's just like, yeah, taboo is what Agamemnon says from the restroom as he's excreting all of the alcohol that he's put into his body. But so it's interesting that not Constantine, but Preacher is coming to AMC, home of Breaking Bad, The Walking Dead, Mad Men, and I think there's another important show I'm leaving out. But so the fact, because you would expect Preacher would be something more of an HBO property. Because it's like, okay, I'll just spoil it. I've never read Preacher, but the scene that Agamemnon said forced him to never want to read Preacher again was like a guy has sex with a chicken. So you're gonna have bestiality on, on cable
I mean, it's
TV.
not like graphic, but like it's really the point that leads up to sex with a chicken, where he's like, I'm gonna bang that chicken, and he grabs the chicken and it shows the chicken's face going like,
why are you gonna? What would motivate a man to bone a chicken?
Well, when you're a hillbilly that was born from your when your dad is and your mom are also brother and sister, so that makes you, I don't know,
Joffrey Lannister.
Joffrey Lannister.
But yeah, basically you have very little chance in life. But yeah, so they're trying to stay close to the source material. Also with Constantine, they had the movie with Keanu Reeves. Mixed reviews. I liked it for what it was, but Keanu Reeves looks nothing like the character. One, the character was blonde, and so they released an image of what Constantine's going to look like in the TV show, and he looks like
he's practically spot on.
Yeah, he looks like he literally leapt like right out of right out of the comic. Melanie says she likes dark meat herself. But I think it's really cool that they're actually
looking good.
I'm loving it. But yeah, imagine if Link did that in Zelda when he's sacking the chickens.
Oh yeah, wow.
But yeah, so it's cool that they're not just saying like, okay, we're gonna do our own interpretation, but they're actually literally trying to like just bring it to screen. They're like, okay, we're gonna try and adapt this as closely as possible. The character's gonna look like the character. The stories are gonna be straight from the comic, and so I think it'll be interesting. Louis said, "Wait, we had chicken for the cock buffet. Don't let it go."
Cock buffet. Why do you keep bringing that back? What's wrong with you people? Blood Ocean and Luis.
Oh, don't forget about Fuzzy Slippers.
And Fuzzy Slippers.
Keeping it alive.
Keeping Cock Buffet alive.
I'm sure that'll be in the first episode of Preacher.
You need to start hashtagging Cock Buffet now.
So yeah, I don't really have much more to say. I'm just really excited that they're trying to stay true to the source material, and they have some really good people behind them. I think Preacher, one of the guys who worked on Breaking Bad, let's see, Sam Catlin, I'm guessing is one of the producers. The executive producer. So, I mean, if it's Breaking Bad, it's in good hands. So, there you go. Excited about that. So, I got one more topic. So, for those of you that know, South by Southwest concluded yesterday, so we can actually drive on the roads now. And one of the movies Agamemnon and myself wanted to go see was the sequel to The Raid Redemption, The Raid Burundal or something.
Oh, that was a really good movie. Those fight scenes were. Woo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How many stuntmen died in making of this movie?
Yeah.
But the sequel is supposed to come out, and at one of the screenings, I guess they had some technological issues and technical problems, and it couldn't go down. So two of the actors that were there, they're like, you know what? You can't see the movie. We'll give you the next best thing. And they just had like an impromptu fight scene on the stage.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm serious. The guys from OneOfUs.net, shout outs to Brian Salisbury and Chris Cox, and they caught the footage. It's about a minute and 14 seconds. So they did their own little battle on stage. I was just like, oh man, that must be awesome. It's like, it would suck that you missed the movie, but you're like, I got to witness this in person.
That's pretty bad, man.
So I think that's pretty awesome. So yeah, shout outs to them. And oh man, I think The Raid comes out later this month, if I'm not mistaken, for general audiences. So I'm excited because the first Raid was badass. I just love how it's like they didn't try and be like, because a lot of martial arts movies or just movies in general where it's like, you came to see this movie for the action, and they'll throw a plot in there, and the plot's not good.
Yeah.
The plot is you got a SWAT team. They go into a building. The building, the building tenant declares
Talking
war
about
on
the
them.
first one.
Yeah, the first one, and they got to fight their way out. That's all you need. And then the rest of the movie is the most badass action you have ever seen.
Yeah,
it's
Mad
pretty Dog. Man.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible,
Yeah, like, what the heck, dude? It's like, did they ever get tired? What the hell, man? Take a break, man. How long can you guys go without?
They go to the battle's done. But yeah, it's so awesome. So, I mean, if the sequel is anything near the first one, and the thing is, with the director, he originally wanted to make The Raid 2, when he wrote that one first. But he didn't have the budget to do it, so he decided to make The Raid, since obviously, like I said, it takes place in one setting. Like, you don't have to go around the world and have a lot of big effects. It's pretty much, actors that are pretty much willing to risk life and limb to give you awesome action. So, I'm sure the next movie is going to be, there's going to be a lot more to it. Obviously, I mean, in this one, he goes undercover into a prison. But that alone, those fights are going to be badass.
Yeah, it's kind of got that whole feel like Undisputed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
because the whole point is for him to, delve deeper into the, mafioso underground. And this time it's involving, the Japanese triads.
Mm. Well, the thing about it is, can you imagine, you're the dude from The Raid, and you just survived. You're literally the only person from your squad that got out.
Yeah.
And
you and your criminal brother.
Yeah. You know what I would do? I would retire, and I would move the fuck out of there,
Well, that was the whole thing with The Raid, was, that whole, search and fight and everything that was kind of, semi-illegal.
Yeah.
So there was no real justification for going in the way they did, because the Thai guy with the blonde hair, who was, he looked half American to me, or at least full-on American, but spoke Thai. He went in this whole mission, trying to cover his own ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was completely off the books. And, they pretty much all the other people had no idea. They think it's a routine mission.
Yeah.
They all got suckered in.
Practice. I thought wasn't it some sort of normal, SWAT procedure or something?
Well, they knew that they were going into a hostile environment, but they thought they were going to have backup. And they thought that, that this is on the books. People know about this. If something goes down, we're going to have backup immediately and we'll be fine. And so the guy's yeah, no one knows we're going in here. I kind of did this on my own. I got to settle a few debts, I got to risk everybody's life. So, I don't know. But, yeah, I just think it's funny the main character is so after surviving all this, you want me to go undercover into prison?
Yeah.
Okay, sign me up, It's all right, yeah, I don't know. It's just funny, but... I'm sure they're going to make it where it's kind of like the Jack Bauer syndrome, where it's the stakes are high. It's I would love to leave, but, I got to do this for my country and for my people. I got to risk life and limb. But, that's why those characters are the ones that, we enjoy because they're willing to do the insane things that we love.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Does you guys have anything else?
No.
All right. Well, we'd like to once again thank those who've joined us in the chat, Melanie and Luis. And once again, check out Luis's podcast, The Comic Bubble Podcast. Talk about everything comic books and comic book related. As I said, I'm one of the guests on that episode. Next week we'll be having local hip hop artist Bad Berry. So check that out. On top of that, also look forward to every Thursday on our YouTube page and also Chris Rachel's YouTube page, which is Her Heroic Scandals, is our other show, Extraordinary, where we cover gender and race topics in the geek culture. So check that out as well. And obviously, every so often now, it's not as on point as it used to be, but Save File Corrupted, whenever we get a chance to all get together. And as always, every Monday at 8 p.m. Central, straight out of Austin. And if you missed the live broadcast, you can always check it out. Check out the podcast on Wednesdays on punchingthewallsreality.com. So, as always, this is Prometheus.
This is Zach Memenon.
Skywalker.
And this has been Straight
Outta.
Oh, the walls.
No, the Austin, fool. Austin.
My bad.
Fail.
Yeah.
One more time.
Fail. Let's try this again.
Okay,
let's rewind the podcast about 30 seconds. This has been Straight
Outta
Austin.
Yeah.
I will be leaving you with a recent. She's actually, her and her band have been featured at South by Southwest before, and with South by Southwest wrapping up effectively yesterday, we have Chihiro Yamazaki plus Route 14 band out of Japan. Incredible musical group. So we're gonna leave you. We're gonna do this as the outro, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Hang on. Once I get this music going.